Can I tell you that I ain't down with all the drama, so we can just keep it simple. I think I'm gonna have to let you go. You know what I want, still you're playing games. You don't treat me right. You don't answer your phone, but you want me to believe that you was at home all night. Ain't going down like that. Go hang up, then you go right back. I ain't going out like that. No. Who you think you're fooling like that? Who you fooling at? Them other girls with it, boy, I ain't like that. Baby, keep it moving like that. Oh no. Thought I told you when we started that if you want friends with benefits, you keep it pushing, cause I ain't down with that. You ain't catching feelings, telling me I'm the one you want. Boy, you gotta let the mothers go. I won't take it personal if you're not the type to be tied down. Don't make this difficult. Just kiss this all goodbye. Ain't going down like that. Go hang up, then you go right back. I ain't going out like that. Oh no. Who you think you're fooling like that? Who you fooling at? Them other girls with it, boy, I ain't like that. Baby, keep it moving like that. Oh yeah. Oh no. I ain't going out like that.
Reach the ruler. This is Week Ho Wednesday, and to my right is Everybody's Women Crush Wednesday. My co-host, the one and only Todd. It goes. Love this show, y'all. I'm dealing with a guy. We have been dating for 9 months. In light of everything going on in the world, he has been voicing his opinion about situations, and I don't agree with any of his views. I love everything else except his opinions.
Damn.
How do I fix this? FYI, he's white.
It's about to be a white boy summer.
So could that be the issue?
For sure. Just come out different when it's not coming from your own race. It's just never been something I'd be like, oh, I date Bill.
I'm just a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill.
I don't really like light-skinned guys. I don't like pink
Yeah,
meat.
pink. So like it's like you see it.
Pink tip, it be pink.
And then pink on
Yeah,
the tip.
I don't like.
So sometimes a light-skinned guy have a dark tooth.
And then it look dark,
And you
so it's
be-
not as off to me.
So okay, so
I feel
now
like
you-
it's supposed to be pink because they light-skinned. You know what I'm saying?
but
But I don't
because it's
want it
not-
to be dark because
because
then
it's
I'm
not.
gonna say you dirt.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq,
And Cassiopeia,
and we need you to like
comment
and share
that thing
every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in it for the Black People Media.
Broken screen, crash system. Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case, he was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, Chicago. It is the Maze Jackson Show. And no, I am not Maze Jackson. I am Sadiq from Chicago, born and raised. And I'm sitting in as the guest host for the Maze Jackson Show for the next few days. As he gets off the grid and takes some time to recuperate, we want to welcome you all this morning. Grab your coffee, grab your donut, grab whatever you want to grab this morning, but let her sleep. And then we can continue to move into the maze.
That's what you want to grab.
Right. Well, but you can't watch the show if you do that, Todd.
Hey.
So,
no, okay.
Okay, all right.
Grab some fruit.
And right. So I'm honored to be in the studio with the one and only, one of the first families of Chicago, Mr. Todd Stroger.
Man, you sure aren't Maze Jackson, because he never would have said that.
Todd, how you feel this morning?
I'm feeling great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm sitting in a room with a man whose name is on one of the largest hospitals in the world, and I'm very appreciative of that. So, Todd, good morning.
I am glad to have someone who was a constituent sitting beside me.
I've been a constituent of the Strogers for years.
I told Maze if he took away the eighth ward, the show would just fall apart.
Fall apart. No eighth ward. What would we do?
Right.
And speaking of hospitals, we have with us this morning a board certified internist
and addiction medicine.
Internal. I said it wrong.
No, it's internist.
It is internist.
Say internist, but it's internal medicine.
Internal medicine. I said it right. That's what I want to know. We have Dr. Audrey Tanksley with us this morning. Doc, what's happening?
Good morning, everyone.
How are you?
I'm good. I was telling Todd on the way up, like, I haven't been up this early out of the house in a while. So, when you get to be an attending physician like myself, you don't have to wake up so early anymore.
I love it. Okay. And then we have the director. So we're not in the soul plane, you all. We're going across. May said we couldn't take the plane up.
We're in a caravan.
We're in a caravan. We couldn't take the plane up. But nonetheless, we have the one and only Sonia Escobar.
Let's go.
Esco, what's happening?
Well, I pull up and I have all these women outside my window running. And they're yelling and they're working out. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah. Well, we got to do. I need to be running with them.
As
But
I clutch my large sugary coffee.
yeah, absolutely. Where's the Starbucks run? What does that happen? No, Maze drinks Dunkin' Donuts.
He's a Dunkin' Donuts guy.
Now I'm a sip and savor person because I work to support black business. However, I don't think they're open, so I don't know. We got to figure out something. Who's out there willing to do a sip and savor? We're gonna be in here till 9:00.
I'm a Keurig person.
You just make your coffee right at the
I'm
desk.
at the crib making it myself, save a couple dollars.
Yeah.
There's a Momentum down the street. That's Tracy Powell.
Oh, Momentum is down. Are they open?
I'm almost sure because he posts a lot.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Momentum.
It's late.
Sip and savor. It's late. It's 6:16, right? Who's not open?
That's right.
A lot of people.
Right,
A lot of people. And let me just say this. Todd is used to being here, but I really want to thank Audrey because I texted her yesterday afternoon and I was like, "Hey, what you doing at 6 a.m.?" And she was like, "Okay, cool. I don't have to work. I guess I could be there." So. Yeah, Doc, that's amazing because most black people be like, sleep?
Yeah, and I probably should have said sleep. But, but, you know, I don't know. I was in a crazy moment, and I was like, I guess I'm not doing anything, you know. I was telling you I got to work on Saturday, so I take a half a day off during the week, and that happened to be today. So thank you for asking me to come.
Oh, you're more than welcome. So that means that my timing was
spot on.
Was spot on.
Mine was too. I pulled up with Todd Stroger. He opened the door for me.
I had the key, so
I mean, he had the key. It worked out. It worked out perfectly. And so everybody, well, this is the first time like we've all been together. I know the show has been going on, so it sounds strange. But how was your weekend, Sonia?
Can I remember it?
That means it was great. Yeah.
It was the 4th.
Right.
I ate, watched the Euro.
Okay.
Slept.
Okay. Did you do any fireworks?
My neighbors did.
Your neighbors did, but you didn't do any fireworks.
Spend no money.
Okay. All right. I got it. So you ate and slept and ate.
That was so long ago.
Okay.
I was a different person, Sadiq.
Okay, you was a different person. All right. It is Wednesday. Doc, what about you?
So, you know, for the 4th, for that weekend, we usually try to get out of town because, you know, things happen in the Chi. So, and I've got kids that are of age that would be outside in the midst of it. So we went to Great America, stayed up there for a couple days.
Oh, y'all went old school. Great America.
Dude,
Gurney, Illinois.
I am a membership Diamond Elite Great America holder because I love Great America. Let me just say that. So, yeah, we go often. Plus, Gurney Mills is up there and a little Pleasant Prairie in Wisconsin, all the shopping mall, little outlets and stuff. So we go spend money.
Okay. All right.
That's what we do. And the fireworks, actually. They do fireworks at Great America on the 3rd and the 4th.
Okay.
So, you know, we were out there for the shows and stay in a hotel. The kids go swimming. I mean, it's just a thing we do.
Okay.
I love Great America.
All right.
I love it.
I worked there for 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Polyester in the sun. I was like, nah.
I couldn't.
Nah.
Yeah, I have mixed emotions about Great America.
Why?
So, you know what?
When I worked there, we had to do the dance. They would play a song, and you had to stop no matter what you were doing.
Okay.
Domingo bus is coming. And
oh, you were really into it.
The old guy with
that's right.
Yeah, I don't think I paid that much attention, but I don't ride roller coasters. So
Ever?
I always felt like, huh?
You're scared.
You missing it.
Okay, however you want to categorize it. I don't.
You've never ridden roller coaster?
I have gotten on a roller coaster. There are only two people in the world that have been able to get me on a roller coaster, like my cousin and I can't think of the other person. Maybe getting on with the kid or something. But yeah, so I don't work well with heights.
Mm-hmm.
So roller coasters clearly violate the no height rule. So the whole go up, right? But when it
the thrill
unleashes,
is coming down.
it's not really a thrill. So, and I don't scream, I don't move, I pray for like 30 seconds, very intently until we get down. So yeah, the whole Great America, and it was like an extremely long day for me, even as a kid. I'm like, we're gonna be out here another 3 hours.
You can be like my husband. He goes for the funnel cake.
Okay, all right. I'll go for the funnel cake,
Yup,
but
sit on the train.
yeah. And then I have an invisible dog story that my kids love, but they only love it because it just shows how naive I was as a kid.
Wait.
Invisible dog.
Okay, so yeah, at Great America
It's
they
not
sell
breastfeeding.
they sell the leash that's attached to a dog collar, but in the leash is a piece of metal, and the piece of metal is coiled, and it makes you look like you're walking a dog. And so as a kid, I was like, man, that is cool. That's like a dog, right? And so anyway, I can't believe I'm telling this story. So I thought it was an invisible dog. And so I begged my mom. My mom was like, I am not getting that thing. I was like, Mom, I want an invisible dog. And she was like, she didn't have the heart to tell me.
But it's Great America. You got to win that thing, you know?
Yeah, well, they bought one. And when I got it, as soon as they passed it across the counter, I was like, it's a piece of metal in here?
Well,
So
I see the value.
I'm scarred by, Great American Invisible Dog. What about you, Todd? Are you a Great America person?
I would go with my friends. I probably would never go, and I wouldn't plan anything like that. And now that I'm older, everything's falling apart. So I have motion sickness. So I can't get on most things.
So you just developed motion sickness as you got older?
Doctor, if I,
Oh, right,
you get a
doctor.
hardening of something around your ear, and the whole thing just goes to hell.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you get ringing too? Look, we're going to diagnose Todd.
Yeah, let's take a moment out. Todd, are you seeing someone about that?
But I did find out that sometimes in the shower, if I close my eyes, I get vertigo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I get allergies sometimes
wow.
now.
Shoot, I got all that stuff.
Okay, I got it.
This is the medical show in the morning.
My back hurts too.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say a
You're
doctor in the
older,
house,
that's
but I
all.
think that's somebody else's show. So I don't want to steal
Yeah, that's my
anybody's
colleague.
showtime. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Terry.
Yes.
Yeah. He is the man.
And he would agree with me to get some fruit this morning, not that donut.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm agreeing with that too. So yeah, definitely get the fruit and not the donut. But Stan's just moved to Hyde Park.
I know.
Yeah. Stan's Donuts is now in Hyde Park, and they
Right
actually
across from,
have
like,
4
Dog
vegan
Grill and-
donuts.
4?
Get the vegan donut. Yeah. So May
Yeah,
said
they're
I can't
spreading.
talk about veganism. So
Oh, wow.
that's
You said that's a no-no, right?
yeah. Just
was
leave
number one on the
that
list.
alone during his showtime. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we see everybody filing in. Good morning. If you're looking for Maze, he is not here. He did leave his headphones though. I don't think he meant to. So I'm just gonna have to take these to the house.
Those
Yeah.
are pretty fancy.
Use
They're
them a
pretty
lot.
fancy. Use them a lot.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
just gonna have to keep using them. I got your headphones, Maze. So he might be quietly watching if he's somewhere. I know he said he was going off the grid, but
No,
it's
if he
hard
saw,
to.
saw those headphones, he's cursing. He's not quiet.
I was like,
Right.
Yeah, he's like, why did he put my headphones on? I didn't, actually I did notice before I put them on, but I was like, man, who could resist sitting in the seat and putting
Right.
Maze's headphones on?
You got to do the whole part. We'll wipe them off after.
Yeah. We'll clean them up. We'll do the whole thing. We'll leave them here, and we'll put them in the safe back in the production booth.
Yeah.
So that nobody has access to them.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what is going on in Chicago? Sonia, what time does WGBX?
5 more minutes.
They join us in 5 more minutes. That is so cool. So we're going to be patched into the radio this morning.
Okay.
And there's a whole bunch happening in Chicago. Of course, everybody is keying in on the shootings and the killings that happened. I think Chicago got over 100.
Yes,
Like
like
104.
106 or 4,
Oh,
something like that.
gosh.
Yeah,
One of
well,
those two.
I think
The
it
number
keeps
keeps ticking up.
The number keeps ticking up. So 104, 106 with I think 18 who have succumbed to their injuries, and so the mayor and both the chief of police are on the hot seat. And then what's kind of interesting was I saw a bit of the press conference with the chief of police, and he was saying that he was actually putting it off on the court system.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
As to the violence. And then I imagine that Kim Fox responded.
She did. She had a interview last night where she was talking, and she tried not to point fingers. I give it up to my sister Kim, but But, you know, it's really just a game of it's on the courts, it's on the streets, it's on the police, it's on the, you know, they were just all finger pointing. So
yeah, so
unfortunate.
It's like, you know, it's like the blame game,
Absolutely.
right? And it's sad, really. But we were talking about it yesterday here on the show because I sat in with Maze, and what really can we do other than to take responsibility as a community? I personally don't believe it belongs in the police's lap or the penal system's lap, or, you know, wherever you want to place the blame. I think the blame is in the streets or at home or with individuals.
I will say, though, you know, it's not just, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's definitely a Chicago thing, right? Our numbers are up like crazy, but they're up around the country. I think it was Governor Cuomo from New York who actually just made like some kind of statement that violence is one of their biggest concerns at this point. So it's everywhere. It's like South Carolina. It's all these smaller places too. So I think we really, as a nation, have to look at, what are we doing about violence as well too. And so here in Chicago, of course, you know, we can take responsibility, but I do think there is some larger responsibility to be taken as well.
Okay.
Especially around the laws for guns and things like that.
This is more of a poverty issue than anything else. Violence has always been in areas where people don't make a lot of money. So, I'm 58? Yeah, 58. So 40 years ago. When
Are you 58?
Yeah, I had to figure that out myself. But
okay. All right. You look great for 58.
You're all right, man.
You do.
You know, I really like you. But
Okay.
anyway.
That's what's up. That's about when that artery start hardening.
Oh, no, that's enough.
About 55.
Hey,
I've
Doc.
learned too much now.
Yeah, hold up, Doc. Wait a minute.
Yeah. But 40 years ago, we had the same problems, and they tended to happen in the projects, no matter where you are. So I was in New Orleans, and Desire Projects. Actually, New Orleans was the capital of shootings back then.
Mm-hmm.
So people were shooting all over. It's the same in all these.
Really?
Yeah. And when the people, the immigrants would come and they go to New York and they live in those settlements, man, those people were awful.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they were basically feeding off each other, though. I mean, you know, you'd rob people who look like you, or like the mafia.
Okay.
The Italians would work on the Italians when they're not just trying to rob everybody in the big sense. The Jewish people would rob Jewish people. You know, you're just feeding off your own people.
I'm going to get real psychological real
Well,
quick.
I got a question now. Do Jewish people really rob Jewish people? Let's come back to that. I want to go back to that.
That's a really good question.
That is really Jews robbing Jews.
So there used to be Jewish gangs. Now they used to rob everybody, I guess.
That
but,
would
you know.
be
The word
hilarious.
ghetto came from Jews.
No, they were not hilarious.
No?
They were very
No.
dangerous.
I said it would be no doubt. I mean, today
Look
the
up
Jewish
the
gang is
purple
called
gang.
Mossad. But anyway, I'm with but the normal like perception of Jews, that would be hilarious.
They got too much to rob. But real talk, like just on a psychological point real quick, because I'm going to be the doctor on the show today. So
Makes sense to
me. There were studies, like there were these experiments way
Oh,
back.
Doc, before you go in, I want you to go in. Let's
Okay.
welcome our WBGX family to, they're listening by radio. So now we're
Oh, so
on
they
the
about to get
radio.
this knowledge too?
They're about to, they pop right in. And so
radio.
good morning. This is Sadiq. I am sitting in for Maze Jackson on the Maze Jackson Show. We have the infamous Todd Stroger, and we have the lovely Dr. Audrey Tanksley with us this morning. And we were talking about violence. So, Doc, go ahead.
So good morning, WBGX family. I am Dr. Tanksley. Good to be on your radio waves this morning. But I was just about to say, we were talking about violence, and so I was about to drop some psychology here real quick and talk about the rat studies from like the 40s through the 60s. And there was a psychologist named John Calhoun who actually did a lot of studies. He created this like utopia, right, for rats, where it was everything they could possibly want in this space, but they were confined to smaller spaces. And so what he assumed would happen with that was that they would just multiply and live these happy lives because they had all the food and water they wanted. But instead what they did was they ended up turning violent. They started to attack each other. It was pretty much a small number of rats that dissociated themselves from the other rats. Some turned homosexual. It was just all of these different characteristics that came out of them being in this population. And so when I look at something like, rats, but when I look at something like Chicago, where 80% of the African American population is concentrated in like 22, 23 communities, then you're essentially
that's crazy, right?
Creating this rat utopia, right? Where it's like, I'll give you all the social services you want. You can get as many loans or grants and things like that you need via other sources, as we know, but you can have all these things, but you still live in these confined spaces. And so essentially what happens is, like Todd was saying, you kind of turn and began to fight amongst each other, right? So we know this would happen. Like psychologically, we know this is what happens.
Well, good morning.
I mean, yeah. Well, good morning, right? We just we got heavy into it right away,
you know?
Right, and we've been living in ghettos. And let me define a ghetto as just a space where the same people live and they don't have the ability to move out. It's not a slum. Slum means that you don't have a lot of stuff and you're poor. So we've been living in these ghettos forever. I mean, my mother lived in the ghetto and she lived in the low end. And, you know, so what? We live in the black belt on the south side. And then most of the west side is a black belt, even though, you know, now they're being encroached upon. So, yeah, it's not like we can just go anywhere we want it. Mm-hmm. Still can't.
We still can't, exactly. Even when you hit certain different tax brackets.
Right, that's what keeps us back now.
So what happens?
Burning down your house, but now, you know, they don't do that so much.
They just write on your garage.
you know what? What's interesting is I was getting ready to ask a question, but it's going to lead into the social media question of the day. Sonia, what time do we do the social media question of the day?
Whenever you want.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 5 minutes.
This
okay.
our show today.
This our show today? No.
Maze.
We're trying to stick to what normally happens as much as possible. But so yeah, I get it.
You got to say something ridiculous about now.
Oh, okay. No, I can't do that. No. I'm perfectly equipped. What happens when we come out of those confined social constructs, ghettos, affordable housing, and we move to the suburbs where there's plenty of grass, space between neighbors, and the same thing happens?
Well, what happens is you move out there, the white people move.
Okay, that's fine.
Or they're older and they don't move. They just die off, and another black person moves in that space.
Okay, but now we're outside of the rat experiment, so to speak, being stacked on one another, but we're still exhibiting the same behaviors.
Yeah.
No, we're stacked on each other, but we just got another space to do.
We just got like grass.
Right, we got grass.
Well, who controls the infrastructure?
Exactly.
Okay.
You don't have to live there to.
And don't get me wrong, I think there's a level of community that has a accountability as well too, right?
Okay.
Because that's one of the things I will say that I notice, and I don't. So okay, real thing. This happened this weekend. So I told you we went to Great America. We stayed out there, right? So we came back, and my husband and I are like, oh, let's hit the beach, right? His uncle boats. He like docks his boat on 31st Street. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go to 31st and just hang for a bit. So we go out there, yeah, and I don't litter. Let me just throw that out there, okay? I don't litter. And so...
not you, Doc.
I don't.
You don't litter?
Look,
not a little bit?
Not even
you don't throw your
bit.
gum paper on the... No gum wrappers?
It's one of my pet peeves.
You gotta look in my car.
The paper off the straw?
Look, you've been in my car.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
litter.
Yeah.
So, but what's crazy about that... And anyway, we ain't even gonna get into my
Okay,
whole
go ahead.
past
But you
and all
don't
that
litter.
stuff,
but
I'm gonna just say, back in the day, I had reasons why I didn't litter.
Okay,
all
right.
Lit. It was
Right.
Anyway, that
don't want to go to jail.
Look, I want to go to jail today.
Right.
So, but that being said, it was so disappointing to see us out, even though we were out having a good time. It was like lines of garbage cans, but people were just throwing trash all over the ground. And I think in those spaces, because I see it in the communities too, you'll see a community flip from a predominantly African-American community, especially to like a Hispanic community, and the lawns get more manicured and they pick up the trash. And I just don't understand where that old school thought of, don't throw this on my lawn.
Right.
Where did that go? Like my grandfather was not playing that. I had to make my friends pick up trash and all of that. And now it's just like we are complacent with dropping things anywhere, and that makes your community look awful.
Well, let me ask you a question, because I think there's a key, and I don't want to dig too much, but I think you said something that's key, right? Mm-hmm. Your grandfather would tell you, and probably your friends or anybody else.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to pick that up. But are you doing that?
So I do. I have a couple residences.
Okay. But
and
but are you telling people, hey, pick your trash up?
I do. And I tell the little dude next door, like, move that down the street because not in front of my house, like we're not doing that. But I'm also, I guess I'm going to channel Ruthie a little bit, like, because I'm not scared. I'm not afraid to talk to my people. So,
well, I was going to say, I don't think we're communicating with each other anymore. I think we are more isolated, and I think part of it is fear.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I think part of it is fear. I don't know what this young man is going to do if I tell him. And I don't think that existed with your grandfather.
Yeah. My grandpa wasn't scared of nobody because he carried a pistol.
Yeah. But beyond the pistol, I think there was a different level of communication.
Respect.
Todd,
Absolutely.
you've been in the same neighborhood for 5 or more decades, right?
Yeah, about 55 years or so.
50, okay, 5 or more, right? So, all right, what's your neighbor communication like?
Well, our area is still pretty solid. And I'd say one of the reasons is same people I saw when I was growing up, they still live there. They're just kind of like dying off now.
Okay.
They're all 80 and something like that. But, out of the 21 houses, because, when you got time, you count all the houses. They're pretty much, at least at this point, because they're starting to go a little quicker. There's probably half that have been there since the 60s.
So no young people, or the young people grew up and moved away?
What's a young person? Oh, yeah, we have a young person. Marcus Evans, the state rep. He's our young person. He's our token young person.
He's our token.
He's your token young person?
Yeah.
I was just with Marcus yesterday.
Yeah.
He's the token.
Yeah.
He's not that young, though.
He's in his 30s. He's still in his 30s. That's young for us.
Oh, okay. So no, I was thinking more like,
for me.
yeah, okay. He's young. So Marcus, you are young.
He's getting old though, because now he's got a child. So
children will do you.
They'll age you in a minute.
As soon as they come out, I think you get like 8 years.
Look, I'm telling you, the walk change.
You go into the hospital 22 and come out 30.
Yeah,
instantly when you bring the child back out, it's like, man, where did my 20s go?
Right.
But so no young people. Kind of your block is solid. Kind of older.
I'm starting to see more young people around the neighborhood, so that means some families are starting to move in, but we're still pretty old.
Okay.
It's definitely different communication, because I told you I got 2 different spots that I lay my head in, and one of them when I bought the house, my neighbors came over and gave me their cards. I was like, look, it's a neighbor card.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a neighbor card. It
was
cool.
Nice.
It was real nice, right?
Can I ask you a
we
question?
all have each other's numbers.
Are they black?
No.
Okay. I was getting ready to say. I was like, neighbor cards. That sounds so non-black.
We see each other. They be like, hey, neighbor. I be like, hey, neighbor. Yeah. But then in my other neighborhood, I'm like, move it down the block because we not serving in front of my house today.
Right.
So 2 different sides of Doc, right? Like, hey, that's nice. A card, an apple pie. Hey, real talk. Y'all got it.
Mm-hmm. Not today.
Not today. We're not doing that today.
Facebook comment from Marjorie. You could take the ghetto people out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the people.
So that comment, I want to bring in the social media question of the day. I think that came in with the Italians.
Yeah.
We could look at the etymology of it.
No, I take that back. I take that back. When I think of ghetto and kind of like in that context, I think that ghetto is meant to say that in your neighborhood, this will work. But once you leave your neighborhood, people will start looking at you crazy.
Yeah, that's true. So let's go into the social media question of the day. And I see more people Really want to appreciate the audience for tuning in. If you are waking up and turning on your Facebook page or you listening through WGBX, this is the Maze Jackson Show. This is Brother Sadiq. I am sitting in for Maze Jackson with Todd Stroger and Dr. Audrey Tanksley. And we have Sonia Escobar on the ones and twos.
They woke up
She's
this
in the
morning
production
like,
booth. They're like, who is that?
Look, they woke up like the Fresh Prince, like, that ain't Viv.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it is not Maze Jackson. It is Sadiq, and I'm sitting in, and we're really appreciative because Maze told me, he said, now, take care of my audience, right? They might not all tune in. So, guys, I have a hidden agenda and a goal. Sonia, just want to let you know.
Alvin knows because he said, should the mayor and the police go vegan? Should the whole city go vegan? Chicago has always been
Alvin, look, and I want to. So first of all, shout out to Alvin, but let me say this. You know, I am on a vegan tightrope. Maze told me, do not do all of that vegan healthy stuff. I got 2 cauliflowers. Do not do all that vegan healthy stuff while you are on the Maze Jackson Show. So, but only because you asked, Alvin, will I talk about it? But no. But
well, I'll tell you, this summer I'm gonna start eating more salads now. I don't even feel like eating a lot. So
yeah.
What?
Besides having a big belly, I'm like, where'd this come from?
Really? Are you serious?
Yeah, didn't you see me?
Because every time
you see me Sunday?
I saw you Sunday.
You break your ankles.
You probably were like, oh my God, look at that guy.
You got to go to one of Sadiq's events because I'm going to tell you, there was good eating.
No, I'm not crazy. I don't want to be a vegan. I just said I was going to eat some
But you can still come to the event, Todd.
Yeah.
It's an event.
I had some ribs.
I'm not eating any
I don't know what you
tofu.
would call them. Fibs.
Hey, Fibs is good. I had to wait. Watch this. Keep talking, Doc. Fibs. You'll see me out like on Good Morning America and Sadiq introducing Fibs. Audrey would be at home like that. Thought I said that. Right.
That's a pretty good name, though.
Yeah. Fibs. Yeah. We got it, Doc. Me and you forever. But going back to the ghetto, because I want to get to the social media question of the day, because then we're going to do a break coming up at the hour, right? So the social media question of the day, so we want to welcome everybody. Good morning. Grab your coffee. Come on in here. Maze is on vacation, but
it's time for the social media question of the day.
Oh, man, I love it. I don't have stuff like that during my show, but this is a whole produced wonder here. Social media question of the day. So the violence was heavy. There's a lot happening in Chicago, and for those of you, I like Uber everywhere.
Okay.
I Uber and bike ride. Right? And I play the game with Uber. I don't pay the high prices. Like if it's over $16, I'm not doing it. But I play stock market Uber. I wait till it falls and then I push, right? So I Uber and I bike ride. So I'm in an Uber yesterday, and the Uber driver is just talking about the violence in the weekend, and rightfully so. We're talking about it. He's talking about it. He's talking about the kids, as he put it, out on Michigan Avenue, and the police, and he's just going on and on. And so the social media question of the day is, and I want to make sure that I read it right and I get it. It made me think while I was in the Uber. The question is, when does being critical, right, or being analytical concerning black people, when does it cross over into Uncle Ruckus territory? And for those of you that are familiar, Uncle Ruckus is a character from the Boondocks. But I swear I was in the back of this Uber, and as he kept going on and on and on, in my mind, all I could hear was, white folks smell like lemon pledge. Niggas can't do nothing right. I can't stand living in Chicago. And I was like, is this, so what's the line? When do you cross over into Uncle Ruckus territory? Because I believe he had a right to be critical, right? I believe he had a right to express himself. I just think it went a little further than it needed to go.
What you want? I want you over my house cutting my grass like you're supposed to be. Well, too bad for you, because I just took another job. And even though they don't pay hardly nothing, working for white folks look way better on my resume. Damn, this is the 4th week in a row you cancel on me. The yard looks like a jungle. Well, Tim, you 3 vine swingers should feel right at home. I'll be there when the white man don't need me no more.
I'll be there when the
Got a
white
nigga
man
tree
don't
is
need
going
it.
on over
So,
there.
so I want to throw that to you. Like, when do we cross over? Because, you know, there's a such thing to me as being, you can be critical, right?
And you should be.
And you should be. And you can analyze it and you can think about it. But when do we become Uncle Ruckus? Because I swear I was in an Uber with Uncle Ruckus. And then that's all like, white folks smell like
Uncle
lemon
Ruckus.
pledge.
You know what? I think I'm gonna just take a step here. I think people should be critical and analytical because you know, we have the right to do so, and many of us, you know, have vested interest in our communities, and so we should be critical. I think when you become judgmental, you might cross that line, you know. And judgmental in the sense of, you know, now whatever values you have, you are you're essentially projecting those on onto other people. So just because, you know, kids were downtown hanging out, dancing, twerking, you know, doing what kids do, doesn't devalue them. Right? Or their experience. And actually, I think it shouldn't. I think kids should have fun and they should enjoy life.
They have nowhere to go.
And right, they really don't, Sonia. They really don't. Some things are still closed. And in real talk, like I've seen the park districts switch from being, you know, places where you could do field hockey and dance clubs and things like that to being quilting and like bridge games. So they really don't have anywhere to go, you know? And so if they're going to be out in the streets, I think that they should get to enjoy themselves. I think you cross over into I was going to say it's a niggatry. You cross the line. You cross over when you then start projecting values on that, right? Those are kids being kids. And I think that that's okay. But when they start to, you know, encroach upon social norms, and people start to judge those social norms according to their values, that then you cross over into Uncle Ruckus territory.
I think there's got to be some supervision that is lacking. I was reading, you know, a Facebook meme, and it was like, well, what your parents have done to you, if they found you out on Michigan jumping around, well, one person said my parents would have killed me, and then they would have revived me and killed me again. And that's how I feel. My parents would be like, what the hell? You ain't never going out again. And so there's got to be some supervision. I totally agree. There should be places that they can go and do things. And I'd like to have something supervised because, you know, it's hard to tell kids just have fun. You know, they need some guidance, and it's obviously lacking. And I think people are fearful of black kids, even black adults now, because since the 90s, that's been kind of the push that we're violent. I mean, that comes out of our music, which is, you know, everybody loves music.
Yeah.
And it's still there. We're violent, and women ain't really worth nothing except whatever I can get out of them.
I think that's probably even older than the 90s, though, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's just the 90s.
No, I'm
not going to ask you how old you are, but
hey, let's be fair. Doc is at least 26, 27.
At least.
Thank you.
At least.
At least 28.
She had to get through med school.
I love this room.
She had to get through med school, so we're going to give her 28.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
that'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
All right.
But I tell you, the 80s wasn't quite that. I remember like culture and music. You know, there's always been some kind of violence underneath with black folks. And when I was in high school, so let's say 77.
Okay.
That's when I noticed the gangs, and they were out more. And, you know, there might be a fight in the arcade or something, but it wasn't prevalent. It wasn't all over. It was in the 90s when they started writing about it and like, wow, this is a great life. That's when things really started going off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, for me, it's really a fine line, and I think you talked about it, right? Like being critical, being analytical, but not being judgmental, right? And this whole value placement. But But we do have to have values, right? We
Absolutely.
do have to have norms. We do have to have a way to, because I think the social norms and the values are the way that we intersect or interact without harming one another and you know, in some type of cohesive movement, right? I just feel that we get stuck sometimes in the outward judgment of others without reflecting on self. And I mean, there are things we've all done. Maybe not you, Todd. I know that you've been.
I've done some things I'm not going to speak about.
Right, and you know what I was gonna say is around supervision, right? Like who's supervising?
Oh no! When I
Right,
did those
'cause when
things,
you're
I was in
away,
college. You know?
You did what you know when your
Right.
parents were 3,000 miles away.
Exactly.
I would love to be a fly on that wall. You know, Todd Stroger acting up in college. Like, what was that like?
It wouldn't be
like
too,
real talk.
too bad, 'cause-
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
I
what
was
did you do?
140
Throw the beer
pounds.
can?
I
You were
was
what?
afraid. I was 140 pounds. I was afraid of going to jail. That would have been awful.
You were 140 pounds in college?
I graduated at 147.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm trying to get there.
Then I ballooned up to 152. Like
that's a balloon.
Please don't say
152.
balloon.
Did you hear him say that? Sonia, did you hear that? He said he ballooned up. He said he ballooned up to 152.
Yep, I couldn't stop it.
I got a question for you, Todd.
Uh-huh.
You were in college in the late 70s, right?
No. I'm a little in the early 80s.
Early 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, early 80s you were in college. I'm going to ask you an Obama question. You're a former political figure. Todd Stroger. Did you ever smoke marijuana? Come clean, Todd. Come clean. Right here on the Mace Jackson Show.
I'll tell you, I had two roommates from California, nicest guys in the world. One went...
Hold on before you do this. Sonia, give us some breaking news type of
I don't think
header here. It's breaking news. I want to hear it. Guys, you getting ready to hear it now?
Confession.
Yeah, see?
The morning show, we know the story.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
we've been
This
through
is new for me. Breaking news. Todd, did you smoke?
So my friend Keith brought back, I don't know, a bag of weed and was selling it out of the room. And man, they were on me like nobody's business because they thought it'd be hilarious to see me.
I'm still thinking that.
Hilarious to see.
I'm still thinking that. I'm like, what time we get off the show? But go ahead.
So I took a toke and that was it.
That's what's up.
And I fell asleep like nobody's business. Like pow.
That's your weed story?
That's my weed story.
Okay, back to Uncle Ruckus.
Look, Shakari's got a
White
better
people
weed story.
smell like lemon pledge.
I like that one.
Black people don't know how to smoke weed. No, that's pretty good. Todd Stroger in college though.
That would be.
I never was interested in weed.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, who was?
Nobody's ever.
Nobody's ever interested.
It just
Nobody's
happens that way.
just. Wait a minute, and the whole pizza's gone. What happened?
No, but I think that's interesting about Uncle Ruckus though, because I think we definitely have some of those amongst us, right? Those.
I think that's why the character was literally created. Like I
Right.
felt like I was in the Uber with Uncle Ruckus. You know what I mean? Like it was horrible. But I think we all at some point
Did you say anything?
because I was I don't like to talk when I'm vexed.
Okay.
And when somebody is doing a service or, you know what I mean? This man was in his car doing his thing. And then I didn't want to be, and this may be I may be overthinking it, but I didn't want to be judgmental of him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now that puts me in the pious space, right? He's Uncle Ruckus and they did something wrong the whole weekend and I'm sitting in the Uber like I'm the clean person, right?
one.
I'm the conscious one, and I didn't want to be in that space.
But what age range was he? What'd you think?
He might have been a couple years older than me. So you guys know, if you guys know out there, I'm like somewhere after my mid 40s. Thank you, Sonia. No, but so I turned 50 my birthday, so he had to be maybe 52, 53, something like that. So we're contemporaries, but I swear for God, he sounded like Uncle Ruckus to me. It turned into a whole Boondocks episode, and then he was talking, and he started out asking me, you know how you want somebody to chime in, like, yeah, what'd you think? I was like, yeah, it was horrible. It was that. But after a while, I just got quiet because he just kept going on and on. And I don't know why they give niggas vouchers and why they move. And I was like, oh, my God.
This is an episode.
Yeah, it was a real episode. And so by the time I got to my destination, I was like, thank you. I am out of the Uncle Ruckus Uber. But I think that we have a potential, no matter how conscious, no matter how, what side of the city we live on or where we are in our social construct, right? I think sometimes we all have the potential to become Uncle Ruckus, and we have to dial it back.
I think people get jaded for sure. As time goes on, the more beat downs you take, the more disinvestment you see, the more neglect to communities. I think people start to get a bit jaded and not know where to place that energy, right? I will say that if we want to not create more Uncle Ruckus characters, then we are honestly going to have to start taking some real looks at our community and start making some changes ourselves, right? Because I think we often, and I don't want to say, I say a lot of controversial things sometimes, y'all, so just bear with me.
Not you, Doc.
I just bear with me, but I think that we give a pass in a lot of situations that we should be more critical or analytical in, right? Just as we are talking about, like I was talking about littering and what we do as far as valuing our property and things like that. Like, we have to take more accountability or people are going to get jaded. It's just the nature of it, eventually you beat me over the head so much, I'm either going to fight back or I'm going to, succumb to my injuries. And I think a lot of us in the community succumb to the injury. And so we therefore then just kind of take that indoctrination of others and disseminate it in our community.
Or we would move, but there's only so many places we can go.
We're going to stay in those same 23 communities. So it's the same, just different community.
Well, you know what?
And even the suburbs. You mentioned the suburbs earlier, right? And so I do a lot of talks about poverty and how it intersects with disease, because there's huge overlaps
that's
in
real.
all
Absolutely.
of those things, right?
Yeah.
And so when in doing some research, there's a couple research bodies here in our area that look at like the social impact of poverty. And one of the things that they showed was that at least the south suburbs, not all the suburbs, but the south suburbs are increasingly becoming more impoverished, right? And so you essentially are seeing the same things happen, and we all can talk about those, Harvey, Dalton, Riverdale, things like that, where where it's changing quite a bit.
Yeah, I think for me the thing that the Uncle Ruckus mentality, I think what bothers me is not so much the being critical or analytical concerning black people, but the pass given to white people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what Uncle Ruckus is really all about. You know what I mean? White people can't do any wrong, but you black folks are just horrible. And we live in a nation where there's horrible characters, there are horrible actions going around like all the time. So it's not just us, right? To me, there is a moral crater in the American landscape. And I think that black people fall victim to it. I think white people, and in particular, white people mentioning not giving a pass, I think their entire origin of this social existence was done in a morally corrupt and morally bankrupt way. So I think when you are starting to point fingers at communities and talk about the violence there, America was born in violence, right? They literally eradicated millions of people, something like close to 25 million people who existed on this continent, and now they got casinos and reservations. So when you talk about the moral landscape, or you talk about people being violent to one another, we never really hear the terms white on white violence or white violence or anything. But they, in this construct, since we just got through Independence Day, put it in your pipe and smoke it. 1776 was born in blood. And so that is really what bothers me about the Uncle Ruckus mentality.
It's a level of self-hate, that I think our community suffers from for a number of reasons. But, even just as Todd was mentioning earlier about ghettos, I think people talk about and can only really address what they see. And so many of us don't live in those communities to be able to speak intelligently about the white on white crime or the Asian on Asian crime or those things. And because we never own our own narrative and we let it be created for us, then it's always written as this black on black crime thing. I saw Al Sharpton this morning saying,
man, it gets on my nerves.
Saying something about like black on black crime and how we have to have this, we have to stand up against that just as much as we stand up against the police on brutality. And I was like, I see where you're coming from, but again, I'm a little controversial, probably because I am a little younger, so I don't know all the things that people do. But when I don't see you actively moving in my community, but I see you having conferences and stuff like that about the community, but you're not there, like I have a problem with that, right? And I think that's where you create these characters.
So Al would probably tell you he paid his dues. He grew up in the civil rights movement. He was a baby then. He studied under the tutelage of whomever, Jesse Jackson, and he was in the streets of New York. And
yeah, so when he was young, he was in the streets.
Right. Yeah, he was in the streets, so he would tell you now he is a big brother to the streets, and he's doing the conferences. I would imagine.
No, I get it. Like, I'm in Robbins, and the mayor is a young person. He's 29, and he's like, Stroger, you excited? I'm like, no, I'm not excited. I was excited when I was young. Now I'm like, I'm going to help you do what you need to do, but I'm just not going to be excited anymore. It's the same book. It's just a different page for me.
So I guess it becomes like a transition, right? You become kind of the elders or the wise counsel, and then you still got the people down on the ground. But I'm going to just push back a little bit on that and say you always got to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening, though, right? So like in medicine, these are a lot of my references go to medicine, but we, so, it's that graduated responsibility from the time you're like an intern to you're an attending physician and yada, yada, yada. And one of the things that I think is so important, so I've been in administration in the medical field for probably about 5 or 6 years. And I think it's really important to practice still, though, because I can sit up in an office in meetings all day long and make policies and things that affect people, but I don't know how they really how efficacious they are unless I'm actually on the floor working, seeing patients myself as well too. So even in those administrative roles, I make sure, and I tell other leaders this, when they ask me like, oh, well, how have you been successful in this? Well, because I make sure that same policy that we created, I'm acting it out every day to see how it actually plays out in the field. And I think that's important to keep your finger, as I tell my patients all the time, I do a lot of addiction medicine, so I'm like, my ear is always to the streets. I know, corner stores is pushing fentanyl, like all of this, because I know people still out in the streets, But
that's definitely true. So, Sonia, we're gonna get ready. We're gonna go to break. We're at the top of the hour. Let's do a couple things first. Somebody drop the definition of efficacious in the thread. That is our word of the day.
Word of the day.
Word of the day is efficacious. Efficacious. That is the word of the day. Thank you, Doc. I got it right here. That's
I was a spelling bee
but
champ too.
No, I see. I know what it means, but how to spell it? I'm sitting over here like Cacious. Yeah, but so again, if you guys are tuning in, it is the Maze Jackson Show. I am Sadiq. I'm sitting in for Mr. Jackson. I have with me Todd Stroger, who is here every day of every week. And we have sitting in with us the illustrious Dr. Audrey Tanksley. And Ruthie is flying somewhere around the United States. We have no idea where she is, but we want to have fun. Before we go to break, guys, listen, we got to do this, all right? I know Maze is not here, but click those buttons and tell everybody to chime in because here's the goal, Todd, by Friday. You think we could get the numbers higher than they are when Maze is here?
I think that should be our goal.
Let's make that our goal. Guys, listen, we got a challenge. We got to get to the Sonia. What numbers do we need to hit to get them higher than when Maze is here?
On average, let's see, Facebook maybe like 179.
Okay.
YouTube like 151.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna challenge. We're gonna get up to 200 on Facebook.
You know what? Everybody, you could do that if everybody just tagged 2 friends.
Everybody tag 2 people right now. Maze is not here, but we got to show that we care. We have to show that we care. We got Todd Stroger, you got Sadiq, we got Audrey Tanksley, we got Sonia, and we got Reese the Ruler. We got DJ in the booth there. So listen, we're gonna go to break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about handing condoms out to 11-year-olds in CPS. CPS changed their rules in December, and this fall, if you have a 5th grader going to CPS, they will have full access to rubbers. How do you feel about that?
I hope we don't call them rubbers.
It's a Christian station, guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a Christian station. Well, if you are a Christian, give us a call because we want to know how you feel about this. Is real talk, so don't be mad at me. Let's call us and let us know this is happening. CPS is handing out condoms, and they are also scaling up the sex ed education for young people. And they say they have their reasons, but there's a whole contingency of people who are upset with it. So how do you feel about your 5th grader having a condom? You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show with Sadiq sitting in, Todd Stroger, and Dr. Audrey Tanksley. We'll be right back after this brief break.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Broken screen, crash system. Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
WIIFTBP.
Wasted on you. From the beginning, you see my world spinning, just a tasting guide. Wasted on you. Vision was blurry, the mood got me working, and my feelings got loose. Let's just forget I was just playing. Can we move on and have a good night? Let's just forget unless you're sane, then you might think
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 7:12 a.m. and I am Reese the Ruler with your Chicagoland sports, traffic, and weather update. In sports, the Chicago White Sox took on the Minnesota Twins as Carlos Rodon went 6 innings and struck out 8. The Sox win 4-1. Rubber match today at 12:10. Lance Lynn on the bumper. Cubs continue to go the wrong way as they scored 10 but get 15 put on them by the Phillies as they lose 15-10 at Wrigley, which makes this 11 in a row they have lost. Cubs Phillies tonight at 7:10. Miles gets the start. Game 1 of the NBA Finals was last night. The Phoenix Suns hosted the Milwaukee Bucks as Giannis Antetokounmpo pulled a Willis Reed of some sort and went from doubtful to actually playing the full game in Game 1. But it wasn't enough as Chris Paul took control of the game and scored 32 to lead all scores, and now the Suns are up 1-0 in the series. Now on the traffic, on the Kennedy, O'Hare to the Loop, 25 minutes, outbound to O'Hare, 17. Eden inbound from Deerfield to Exchange, 30 minutes, outbound Exchange to Deerfield, 27. Eisenhower's inbound from Thorndale to the Loop, 35, back out to Thorndale, 27. Stevenson inbound from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, 35 minutes, outbound back, 31 minutes. Bishop Ford from I-80 inbound to the Dan Ryan, 38 minutes, outbound 30. Dan Ryan, 17 minutes to the Loop, 15 minutes back to 95th. In today's weather, it is currently 75 and partly cloudy. Today will be a high of 81 and a low of 66. I'm Reese the Ruler, now back to the Mays Jackson Show.
Hey, sunshines. If you didn't catch the last page in the Book of Dawn, here's what you missed. So you found that, but you also, during those times, made a conscious decision to create a base for yourself outside of the Isleys or the great artists that you tour with. And from that, the Mo Fitz Project was born. Can you tell us how and why you did the Mo Fitz Project?
Let me tell you something. I had been touring since I was 17. And what happened was your girl Eve was doing different events around town. Mm-hmm. And I remember it was right on 47th Street.
Yeah, I think it was Blue 47.
Yeah, one of those spots. So Eve was doing something with them. So they were like, we're hiring bands. I was like, I'm going to put something together and go play locally. Let me do that. And through that situation from Eve, the Mo Fitz Project was birthed. I was like, oh, okay, this would be great to actually come home and put quality guys together and make music locally outside of the touring. I just found another joy in that. And crazy, remember Terrence Kane came up with the Mo Fitz.
Oh, did he? Yes. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Terrence was like, you need to call it the Mo Fitz, Ruthie. Mo Fitz. Use your name. This is how that name came about. It was Terrence Kane and my girl Eve Bridgeworth. She was the launching pad for that. And then she would hire me to do different events. And she started hiring me to do weddings and stuff she was doing. And then it just kind of birthed into that.
Don't forget to tune in weekdays, 9 a.m. to the Book of Dawn from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. Roll Tide, y'all.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now of the politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Mays, it's Sonia, and Ruthie and Todd, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed to solve them. in the mirror, realize you great. Yeah, we always argue with our brothers, but ain't nobody gonna take our place. Just stay in tune and stay on top about who forward, about who not. Just green light all the black economy, then watch all the shooting gon' stop. To my black people in power, just remember we put you in power. If you really wanna save all the black princesses, be Mario and not Bowser. They gave us a hard job, we gon' make it if we do it together. Divided before, we gotta evolve. With confidence, you are winning before you started. With no confidence in the people, we always gon' be defeated.
What's in it for me? What's in it for you? Who's telling the lies? Who's telling the truth? Black people realize the sun shines for you. So stop the divide. See what melanin do. What's in it for the black people? All the lies we heard before. Time to pay attention. You gotta do more than listen. Some action with on the count of three. Let's roll.
Yeah. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, Chicago. It is the Maze Jackson Show. Get out of bed. It's time to go to work, black people. If you're melanated, grab your coffee, get out to bed, put your pants on, grab something, but leave her alone. You are tuned into the Maze Jackson Show. It is Sadiq, and I am in with Todd Stroger and Dr. Audrey Tanksley. And we want to thank you for joining us this morning. And you're listening to us at WBGX and watching us on Facebook and YouTube Live. Shout out to the YouTube users that are out there and everybody that is tuned in this morning. And we have in the booth the one and only Sonia Escobar. Esco, how you feeling this morning?
Good morning. I was singing the whole song. I was
Oh, you were singing the whole song, huh? Wait, yeah.
Longer today.
That's what we was talking about.
cut.
Alvin said this the full
regulars,
version.
no.
I said,
Right.
yeah, this the
That's
extended
the
version.
uncut, the extended,
Right.
right?
That's the album
version.
That's the version that's on wax.
Verses in there I ain't never heard. I was like, okay.
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Audience notices everything.
Everything. And we are so grateful to have you all tuned in with us this morning. Maze is off the grid, as he called it. He is on vacation. So I'll be with you for the next few days. And I appreciate the opportunity, the love from the WIIFTBP family and the Lion's Den, Maze Jackson, and the whole entire family as we sit here this morning. So before we went to break, and I just want to kick off this 7 o'clock discussion during this hour. If you all are aware, in December, CPS changed its policy, which will go into effect this September when the children return to school. And it says, according to the Chicago Sun-Times, and I'm reading here from the Sun-Times, condoms will be made available as a part of the new CPS sexual health policy. So this is a new policy. As a result, schools will teach 5th grade and above. Schools that teach 5th grade and above must provide access to free condoms. This policy is aimed at preventing pregnancies and sexually transmitted diseases. So that is the aim of the new policy. I don't know where the data is. I think it would be interesting to see the data on sexually transmitted diseases and pregnancies in 5th grade. I'm sure they're pretty low.
You know, that's interesting you say that because when it's reported like in public health, I'm sure you can get to those numbers,
Right.
but most often it starts at 15, like 15 to 24.
So now we're talking about 10 and 11.
Exactly.
If you're talking about 5th grade. So I see there have been comments. We announced it before the break, and there have been people commenting on it. The thread is kind of hot on this topic, and there are people who are really taking positions on both sides of this. So like, where do you, now this is perfect because we got a doctor in the house and we have someone who has been in charge of policy for the city and the county, here in Illinois. As a parent, I have a problem with part of it and maybe not all of it, but I do have a problem with, I think you are making people have discussions based on a blanket policy as opposed to me knowing when my kids are ready to have the talk.
Mm-hmm.
Because I may have a 10 or 11-year-old who's not ready to talk about condoms or sexual diseases. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to have the talk in the household, but my talk for my children, knowing my children, the speed they are in society, what they're digesting, all those factors, we might not be ready for that talk until 12, 13, or maybe 14, 15. So, yeah, I just feel like it's a blanket policy that you are intruding on really my rights as a parent to bring this information up and do it when I feel is necessary.
Yeah. I'd love to hear the policy perspective on this, but I definitely, when I read it, I see a few different things in there, right? So one is there's a theory of harm reduction. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that theory or not, but harm reduction is essentially a theory we use in various spaces, but definitely in medicine to mean like meet them where they are, right? So we use it a lot. And they just recently had some policies around opioids with harm reduction. So that's like your needle exchange programs, right? So I'm not saying you have to stop using, but if you are using, let's do it in a clean way that decreases the risk of hepatitis C and HIV and things like that, right? And that's what condoms in this setting kind of sound like to me. It's like this harm reduction approach of, well, if the kids, or if they're doing it at this point, then how do you promote safety and well-being in that setting, right? Of people that are already using it and or doing it. And I think there's some good areas about that. But I think where people are feeling controversial is the age, right? Is that in 5th grade. But,
right.
As we were talking off air, though, there are those nuanced cases where 5th graders are sexually active, where they are, one of the things, is it that, and I guess this is me just thinking, but is it that the numbers are low in that population because we're not testing in that population as frequently, because it's not often that a kid is going to be that forthright and open and probably tell their parents that they're sexually active at 12 or 13, but that doesn't negate the fact that I'm sure you guys have heard, just like I've heard or even know people who have either were pregnant at that age, or the girl that's in the locker room or in the back of the coat closet that's getting it in, or so I think that the conversations do need to start early. That's fairly vague though, to say just give them access to it, right? That doesn't mean that you have to have condoms at the school. I have a health center inside of a youth center. And so in that health center, there are condoms available. The kids from the youth center, from the school, they can come and get the condoms if they choose to. And that's access, and that's not the school providing it. So I think you could look in various different ways. But I think the jaw-dropping part about this is just people are like, oh, but they're like 10 and 11 years old. But, they're on social media talking about things. They're watching YouTube videos. They're having conversations without us. So I think structure And supervision, that's the other word of the day, Todd. Supervision.
Supervision. I'm with it.
Needs to be done in some aspect. But I think it's just a harm reduction approach.
According to the Sun-Times, elementary schools will receive 250 condoms. And if they run out, they have to ask for more. And high schools will receive 1,000.
Okay. They need to. I mean, all of them coming in getting tested. The high schools do at least. They are.
Oh, Lord.
Todd, what'd you think?
Yeah, I'd like to see a little more on how this is supposed to play out. I have no problem with like health education, you know, in 5th grade. I don't know about handing out condoms. So, yeah, I like to see if access means like if you ask for it, we'll send you to some health center and they'll talk about it.
No, the school's giving the condom is at the school.
Ask for it. I mean, just think about when you.
So is it in a goodie bag in the hallway?
It's in a fishbowl.
Yeah, it is in a fishbowl. I
Really?
kid you not. At the entrance of every single one of my health centers, it's a bowl full of condoms.
Wait,
and,
what's the
I
address?
often tell
Yeah,
people,
right.
"Look, which one? I got 6 of them, but which one?
Say, man, I could have used that back in the 80s.
And I tell people, grab some on the way out in the rooms. In each one of the rooms, we have a bowl of condoms, and we actually have like the little brown paper bags so that if they want to be a little more discreet about it, they can put them in there. But I mean, I think even if just like I tell people with naloxone, even if you are saving a friend, what does it hurt to have it?
I get it. I remember when my dad had the talk. He said, you know, your cousin, I won't say her name.
No, please don't say her name. Please, yeah.
He's like, you know the difference between you two? And I said, yeah. He said, okay, good, bye.
That was the talk?
That was the talk.
I didn't have a good talk either. I mean, and I think this is why these types of things are coming in. My dad was literally, so I was raised by my dad. And he didn't know how to talk to me about sex. So he literally was like, you know what a reputation is? And I was like, huh? Yeah, like da-da-da-da. And he was like, you don't never want a reputation.
That's not what you want.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, so this is an interesting conversation because I don't think my parents and I had a talk either. Like to this very day.
Nah.
Yeah. And I'm actually
parents are
still
still
learning
alive?
stuff. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, your parents still alive?
No, they're not.
Oh, dang. Because
They're
I was
not.
going to suggest that they talk to you now.
They probably need to.
And the doctor and I can talk to you off the air if you really need some help.
I got some diagrams and
So
models.
yeah, join us in Hyde Park at 9:30. When we leave here, we're gonna have sex ed for those of us that are over 40.
Who never got to talk.
Yeah, who never got to talk. Because I really want to talk. But no, I think that there's value in having the talk. Again, I just think that blanket policies can be, I think there can be a little danger in the whole.
Online.
Yeah,
Everything's online.
and
I have
that's
teenagers who order birth control.
Yeah.
okay.
Online.
Okay, that's cool.
They don't even have to go into the doctor.
And I think it's better when you get that information in a more structured way. The only concern I would have is how is CPS going to do it? Because they kind of
exactly.
I am a product of CPS, and my kids are products of CPS. So I'm not anti-CPS, but I will say there are a lot of missteps that they have, and they don't. And I just would be interested in how they even are planning to roll this education out. What's the curriculum? Like, what does it talk about? What, how do they address certain issues? Because I've had young ladies in their 20s come in to see me in a clinic who have no idea how their bodies work, no idea about their menstrual cycle or how that happens. And so it's like, how long you been getting your period, And they're clueless, right? I had a young lady that used to come see me every week. I'm here for the usual, Dr. T. I'm like, the usual, girl, let's talk, right? Let's honestly
Let's
talk.
What's the usual?
The usual was an STD check.
Okay.
And like there's this thing called a new swab. Anyway, it's a swab. It tests not only for STDs, but also for bacterial vaginosis and yeast. And so it was basically like she was coming in every week to get swabbed. And I'm like, no, let's talk about the choices you're making, that you need this test every week. And let's talk about, I'm a huge
But see, this all goes back to parents to me.
And all that. It does.
This all goes back to parents to me.
But sometimes the parents didn't get to talk. So they don't even know. Look at us. We didn't get to talk.
Right. Yeah, but we didn't get to. But okay, so I think there's a difference between not getting to talk and being there to talk to and help guide your children.
Yes.
All right.
But
so
the knowledge piece.
But I think it's a collaborative, right? Like we have a health professional, because you're doing both. In my estimation, in that conversation with I could get I could say, hey, doc, or I could go to my primary, or and then that gets into even do you have a primary? But
that's a
whole nother discussion. But
join us on Inhale, Exhale. We'll talk about that.
Let's talk about the ABCs, right? But the whole decision making, right? Where you are, what you're doing, who your friend, like all of that stuff to me goes back to the household.
Yeah,
it's not a CPS issue.
I would agree. It definitely goes back to the household. But that's putting a level of accountability that we don't see.
I got it. But for those who are accountable, I'm saying that you are infringing on my household. Is it break time? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
That was fast.
That was, yeah. Well, we didn't come back in until like 7:19. So that's actually 13 minutes. So listen, you all, we're going to continue this conversation after the break. We're gonna talk to Todd about how he actually had the talk. We know how Mr. Stroger
right
did.
there.
That was no. But you have children.
I'm not going to tell you how that happened.
No, but I want to know about you talking to them.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you didn't. And Doc, we already know. I mean, you got a doc living with you, right? So anyway, we'll continue the conversation. Sonia, what time does WBGX tune out?
8 a.m.
Oh, at 8 a.m. So they're with us for another half hour. So radio, YouTube, Facebook, stay with us. It is the Mays Jackson Show. We'll be right back after this break.
The Mays Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Broken screen, crash system. Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
Motivated by the days, the sandwiches of spam. Grilled cheese won't stop me from grilling those who are stealing the peace and safety of the community, because they releasing death and destruction on the community. A community where the people look like me and them. A place where mom and them stay. Not too far from where their children stay. You right. I want a peaceful neighborhood, and I'm not moving to the suburbs to have a peaceful neighborhood. Do we really have to take this, acting like we don't recognize this, still cooperate with this? You know what? The hell with this. Ram me behind a mic that shake like a middle finger, pointing straight up with my middle finger to any poor politician, dealer, deaf, crooked cop, or lazy parent. It's apparent to create change, you have to have a work ethic that make it seem like you lost your brain, standing out like the Willis Tower. It's a brother that represents dedication, discipline, and dream reaching, accompanied by a voice called power. Who rhyming harder than a rebel with the pen? Representing the city of Point Guards is an extra large MC who rhymes always on point, always rhyming with a point behind the flow. One of my students said the rhyme so hard we should stop calling it flow. Let me tell you something else before I go. I was born to stand tall. I was born in Chicago.
That is Brother William Morris. Appreciate you, brother. Much love. Chicago, homegrown. Every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in It for the Black People Media.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
WIIFTBP.
Hey, welcome back. It is the Maze Jackson Show. Wake up, get up. Let's get the day going. We have with us, I am Sadiq. I have Mr. Todd Stroger and Dr. Audrey Tanksley. And then in the studio, we have the illustrious Sonia Escobar.
On the ones and twos.
On the ones and twos. She's on the board. She is making it happen. And we are discussing the CPS policy, which will begin this September, of schools mandated to have condoms and sex ed for fifth graders. And they might have already had sex ed, but they're retooling it. And we were discussing this this new policy and how it may affect different households. And so it seems like there's some people who are upset about it. We've even seen in some of the comments, and I forgot who dropped it in, that her concern was the legal ramifications of it. And I'm not even sure where that goes, right?
I tell my patients all the time, I wear a white coat, not a black robe. I don't know nothing about law.
Yeah, I don't either. Todd?
Judge. I don't know.
I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, that's right. You were an accountant. You're a money man, investment banker, right? Prior to politics.
No. Actually, while I should have stayed into it, but that's a whole different story.
Okay, we'll do that later,
Yeah,
right? We'll do the Todd Stroger story, the hidden behind the scenes, right?
Some investment questions.
Right. We want to talk about it, but so CPS has this new policy, and they're going to allow access to condoms for fifth graders. So we were talking about that, and Doc was saying, and I won't put words in your mouth, but pretty much that you don't have an issue with the policy.
If rolled out appropriately.
I
think,
let's put that
because
in
I think that the access part is one thing, but the context around the access, like you can't just have condoms available without giving the students like the tools that they need to make appropriate decisions about using condoms. Like, you were even saying it's grown people that don't use condoms.
And so that's my point, right? I think that you can introduce and say, yeah, the young people need clear conversations, and I'm with that. And I think that the more information you have in the proper environment, but you have to have responsibility comes with that, behavior, proper behavior goes with that. And so there are men who are 22, 25, 35, 55, who don't make proper decisions about condom use, and they have access to free condoms, paid condoms, like condoms everywhere.
It's not just men, it's women too, right? I think women, first of all, there are women condoms, they're female condoms.
So, and I brought that up, right?
So them very often.
Yeah, is this access to just male condoms? Is this policy sexist? Are there female condoms available?
Perhaps there's both, but what I was going to say is just, even when you properly educate people, then that empowers the women. In my opinion, it empowers them to even say, hey, let's use a condom. Because I think that's a part that's missing as well, too, is it's not just the male's decision on using a condom, but it's also the female's as well, right? So you could very easily be like, well, nope, not without a condom. But a lot of people don't feel that empowered.
We had sex education in 7th grade. But I went.
You
to,
scared me for a minute there. When you started out, we had sex. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, this is a good one.
Is that 13, 14? Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. It was a Catholic school though, so there wasn't any talk of.
You talking about Ignatius?
No, I'm talking about St. Felicitas.
Oh,
nice. So it was all abstinence based.
Yeah, even though Miss Cresswell, I
you gonna call her name out?
He's so good.
Is she still
I don't
alive?
even know if she's still alive. I don't know.
Miss
She was
Cresswell,
actually
she's
young as a
probably
teacher.
watching. She's probably in the BGX audience.
She probably is alive because you know what you learn when you get older is that when you're in 7th and 8th grade, your teachers are probably like 25.
Right.
You know, they may have seemed like they were old to you, but they weren't really. But she did. I want to say she did kind of touch on that, talking to the girls specifically.
Yeah.
She did talk to the girl specifically.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that
was a long time ago, man.
I think it opens up just a lot of different conversations. You know, I mean, because in all honesty, then this is this whole conversation at least that we're having at this point is based in that this would be heterosexual sex, right?
I mean that and I'm going to be honest with you, being a heterosexual.
Yeah, that's generally how I talk.
That's general, and that has nothing to do. But you're right. There's some assumptions here, which is even in that, are there female condoms? Right? Are there other types of condoms? Now that you want to, broaden the discussion a bit, Sonia, why you got your hands over here?
What about somebody who has a latex allergy?
Because I have 120 teens, and this is so real.
No, this is real talk.
So I've seen the DMs on Snapchat, and it's just, they're doing stuff.
They are, and like I brought this up to my son. My son is 12, right, and he is, still playing video games and basketball, and he's not even focused in this area. But when we went to the end of the school year party, we walked in and all the little girls was like, "Oh, look at him. He got tall. He lost weight." So I know the next step is there will be this interest in these, in the opposite sex, right? And so, and now he's about to go to academic center and all this stuff. And so, right? I remember I went to Morgan Park for 7th and 8th. Oh, I remember. So I'm just saying, it's a real conversation, and I think when I even brought it up to him, he was kind of shocked, like 5th grade, as if that was so young. But then I recognize he's not the same as a 5th grader who is in coming from a different.
But that's my
background.
point. That's my point about. Yeah, my teenager may be different from the other teenagers, but now if you put it in the classroom in a blanket policy, you're forcing something in my household that my household may not be ready for. My kid might be in video games and still playing with Legos and doing whatever.
But does that mean they're not ready for the conversation though?
Yeah,
They
right.
should know. They should know.
They should.
Yeah, you may
No.
know
Puberty's
20 hours,
around the
but what are they
corner.
doing the other for?
Right?
But
Because he did tell me not too long ago, Mom, you can't just knock on my door and come in. You have to wait for me to say, come in.
Come in,
I
right.
was like, and I looked at my husband and was just like, I'm going to wait for him to say, come in, because I don't even want to know.
you definitely don't want to know.
My mom had to tell me that.
Yeah,
my
don't.
little brother's 13 years.
Please make
difference,
sure you're not.
So I'm 9. Yeah.
But I'm just saying
My
that.
daughter, who's now a junior.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. She'll be a senior.
Todd, don't mess this up.
Yeah, right.
Right.
No, it's just one of her friends in 8th grade said that she was pansexual, and I'm like,
Wait. Tran or pan?
pan.
What's pansexual?
See, I just learned what that was like 2 weeks ago. 4 years, I didn't even pay attention.
Doc, what's pansexual?
I don't know. I'm thinking pan means every.
Yeah.
You're actually
You're
correct. That's exactly right.
attracted to either or.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you just
bisexual
Google the
means
official
like-
definition, Sonia?
Sure. Pansexuality is sexual, romantic, or emotional attraction towards people regardless of their sex or gender identity.
Regardless. Yeah.
Regardless. Okay.
So-
it could be, I'm
could be all
attracted to men, women, trans.
Okay, so right, because if you're
Down
attracted
the
to men
list.
and women, that's bisexual. But pan means you're attracted
use
to
all the alphabet.
anything human.
Anything with a sexual organ.
Go ahead, Todd.
No. I was just like, well, at the time I was like, that's past my knowledge. She knows too much.
But if you're pansexual,
and you know that at
if you're
8th grade,
pansexual, the person doesn't have to have a sexual organ.
but for you to be aware of that,
You're
I
right.
guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's sexual attraction regardless of whether they have a sexual organ or anything like that. Because I could be a transformative being.
I don't know. It's deep.
you were just bi.
No, bi is if you're attracted to a male or female. But what if you're attracted to a transgender person and you're not transgender?
But if they're presenting like a woman,
How did we get here?
Todd brought up pansexual.
Yeah, I guess I did. Right.
We were talking about condoms. But here, okay, so to me, this is the slippery slope. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Because there's levels to information. And when you introduce fifth graders, we just went down the slippery, we started at condom, right? In my household, again, this is my whole thing. I'm not saying the kids shouldn't have the information. I'm not saying don't talk to your kids. I'm saying my 11-year-old may not be ready for the slope of pansexualism.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start introducing, we did it.
See, that goes back to what's the curriculum.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm with you. What are we talking about? Because it's not just condoms sitting in a basket. I guarantee you.
Right. And sex is not just intercourse, right? There's so many other levels and layers to that as well, too.
Now there's pansexuality. You know what I mean? And I think it's a new day, right? But I think that there are levels to what you do, and I think there are nuances to it. And I think the danger is a blanket policy where you just say, okay, this is what we're doing, right? So like you said, what are the components to this? What is my child actually being a part of while they're in that CPS building? Yeah.
For some reason, it reminds me of a scene in a movie. The lady asked the other lady, do you know about foreplay? And she says, no. She says, that's okay. He doesn't either.
Wait a minute, what's foreplay?
Oh Lord, see, this is why I would hope that CPS is using some trained, psychologists or medical professionals or things like that to help them really base the curriculum, because they did mention Dr. Fox in the
But Dr. Fox is over the whole. Dr. Fox is not actually in it. We already know they don't have counselors. We already know that we were talking about it in the break.
I was trying to be good to
Oh,
CPS.
come on, don't be good now.
I'm pro CPS. My best girlfriend is a CPS teacher.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm pro CPS too, right? So but again, this is where we have the right to be critical, right, and analytical, because first of all, I'm paying for it with tax dollars, right? Let's go back to, right? So it's our school system, right? We don't govern it or run it, but we should have a say. And I'm just saying that this policy, right, puts people in a position. Well, first of all, you just got to recognize that it's a new policy. But what are the outcomes? What are the measurables? What's the research they did in terms of why this is necessary at fifth grade? Like an article in the Sun-Times is not telling me any of that. Why are you now talking to my fifth grader? Give me, as the parent, give me something so that, because to me, it's a relationship. There is no school minus the parent, parent minus, that's when you get stuff that we talk about all the time.
I feel like so often what we do is like, we'll look at the data, we'll see that the issue, the crux of it is likely at like 7th grade, right? That 13, 14-year-olds, right? But we know that prevention,
right,
very preventative person. Prevention is usually the format we try to take. And so if I'm going to try to prevent something, I got to go a couple years back in order to actually reach them, because by the time they're in 7th grade, they're probably already sexually active and doing things. So I got to go back to 5th in order to catch, because there's only a few, like a nuance, one or two that are actually like, I think Mario was talking in the chat about 11-year-old, and he kind of said to her mom, like, this is not okay, there's a few of those little scattered ones, and those are ones, like you said, that know too much, seen too much, been around too much. And so if you can catch them all, then you have to go back to that age, and with that concept, then you'll have to just say, okay, so at what point then do they go to 3rd grade or such?
I agree with the doc. My best friend had sex in 8th grade. So I guess maybe, he was pretty But
No, but it's not uncommon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not uncommon.
it's definitely not uncommon.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to kind of go back a couple years in order to have that safety net to catch all of them.
Yeah.
So, do we talk about abstinence anymore? Is that conversation dead?
No. That should be the first conversation.
From a parental level, I'm actually talking about from a societal level, right? Because when I was in grammar school, I won't say we, only because you were like a year and a half ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being kind. But we actually had talks about abstinence in school.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know if
think
anybody
that's still
remembers
the first
that.
part. I remember the era where you would have a promise ring, where that meant like I'm going to promise that I'm not going to be, sexually active until a certain age.
I got it.
Back.
But I'm just saying in the
I
CPS.
gave my ring back, but
Yeah, you were like,
sorry.
Here you go. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that.
I can't live up to my part of the deal. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be able to follow through with this.
Yeah.
But
well, you know, at some colleges, you sign a pledge saying that you will not engage in any sexual activities.
It's too late at college.
But they do that at Notre Dame, don't they?
I don't know about Notre Dame. I know like Oral Roberts.
They don't make the
Brigham
doctors
Young.
sign those at Notre Dame.
I don't think anybody holds up to it.
They don't make the staff sign them, that's for sure.
I really wish Ruthie was here because she could really speak to this.
To the kids, I know.
She's actually done a workshop for Upper Bound. And what we find with our teens is that they're not shocked because they know the science of it. But we give them that emotional, social support and what is a healthy relationship like?
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel you need to have sex to keep a man? When we get into those conversations, that's where I see the kids really connecting. Because the science, they know how it works.
Yeah.
But you know what?
And give them that part that they're not given.
But who's talking to the boys about the pressure to keep a girl by having sex?
So we have the male leadership.
No, because often when it's brought up, it's
women
just
leadership,
like
so
you
we
said it.
Separate them so there's no pressure.
Exactly.
And then we speak to the holistic approach.
And I think that that's the best approach to do. And I mean, and that's why I said, what's the curriculum, right? Because I mean, after so many years, the science doesn't change. It just doesn't. It's been the same way since the beginning of time. This is how this works. This is how that works. These come together. This is what happens.
Right.
And so, and then even adding the layers of, these are the diseases and yada, yada on top of that. But if you're not giving them the aspects of how to make choices, then you end up with the same situations that I see where people are in the clinics, they are older, they don't know the emotional parts of it, and then there's like the psychological trauma of, whatever, being rejected or now trying to, figure out how to keep someone or, making poor decisions. And we really need to focus more on with our kids on decision making and critical thinking. Like that's my thing.
Yep.
So
conflict resolution.
Yeah.
So now that you're into the holistic aspect of it,
I agree with you, Devin. This is CPS. They gonna mess it up.
We're talking about CPS. So leaving CPS out of it, I want to drag the conversation all the way left.
Okay.
I'm gonna drag it all the way left. I'm gonna use a Dr. Tanksley line. I'm not always politically correct, but I have a question for the adults in the room. When it comes to sex. And this is someone who did not have a sex talk with his parents, right? It was just one of those things you didn't talk. You went up, you went to school, blah, 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 got your work done, talked about grades all day. Sex? No. Okay, cool. Should we tell our kids how to have good sex so that they don't have to spend 15 years finding out where the woo-wop-de-bam is?
Man, learn on the streets like I did.
Learn on the streets.
Learn on the streets. Learn on the streets. Should we give them a heads up in a holistic environment, right?
No.
Yeah, go ahead, Todd.
Your talk shouldn't be that. For one thing, you should have boundaries with your children. You don't want them to be. You don't want to be your children's best friend.
Right.
Yeah. You become their best friend once they graduate from college or something.
Paying their own bills.
But let's say this: a part
I
of
feel like that'd be a deterrent.
And I'm just no, but okay.
Can you
so
imagine your mom and then you want
there is documentation out that orgasms extend lifespans.
Okay.
And they help.
And that's true.
They help. This is all scientific, right?
Yeah,
and
this is
medical.
the vegan thing,
They
I
help.
think.
No.
It's true.
Well,
and actually,
we'll do
there's a
that
certain
later.
number of
And
times
it
a
helps
man should
relieve stress.
ejaculate
It helps
because
relieve stress.
helps
Like
the
there's a whole
prostate.
bunch to it. But
Yeah.
now, if I am a man who is not familiar with what to do in order to help my partner, right? I'm fumbling through 10 or 15 years, right, of trying to find this out. I could be helping a lot of people.
That's lack of communication with you and your partner.
No, because she may not know.
There's
because
books
nobody
for
is
We
that.
just teach you to be an advocate.
But did you really learn it in a book? Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, Doc. Right? Real talk now. Let's do this because it's getting real now. This is why we don't talk about it, right? Because it's one of those subjects. Like find out. I could give you the clinical. Yeah. But now when we get to the stuff that we all appreciate, we keeping all of that a secret. So listen, we got to say goodbye
Ask me when
to
you're 25.
Yeah, we gotta say goodbye to WBGX, right? We thank you for joining us. Hopefully you'll join us tomorrow on the Mace Jackson Show. We will be back. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go to break. We were talking about CPS and condoms, but we've graduated a little bit to holistic sexual education and how do we bring people up to speed on helping women live longer. You're tuned into the Mace Jackson Show. I am Sadiq. I'm here with Todd Stroger and Dr. Audrey Tanksley. We'll see you right after this break.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Broken screen, crash system. Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
I miss your kiss. Oh, your kiss is one of a kind. It feels so nice. Girl, you do it right. I miss. Oh, girl, you don't go too fast. You take your time. Just how I like. I miss. Hey. You kiss it, then I'm drifting off your love. Keeps me floating, girl. I miss. And ooh, it feels so good. I wanna come down. Girl, I'm missing that love. Come on. Ooh, babe, I'm missing all those kisses. Baby, bring those lips to me. Oh, babe, I'm missing all those kisses. Baby, bring those lips to me. Come on. When you're not around, girl, I'm tweaking. I swear I be hearing things. And if I cannot have you, girl, I'm feeling. Oh, that's such a talent you bring. Yeah. Oh, and it's too long. If I can hold you in my arms, if I can find a real good love. That kiss is a drug to me. Baby, your kiss is all I need. Come on. Ooh, it feels so good, baby. Oh, come on. Ooh. just a kiss. Baby, bring those lips to me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 8:03 a.m. and I am Reese the Ruler with your Chicagoland sports, traffic, and weather update. In sports, the Chicago White Sox took on the Minnesota Twins. Carlos Rodon went 6 innings and struck out 8 as the Sox win 4-1. Rubber match today at 12:10. Lance Lynn gets the start. Cubs continue to go the wrong way as they score 10 but allow 15 to the Philadelphia Phillies as they lose 15-10 to make that 10 losses in a row. Cubs and Phillies tonight at 7:10. Miles gets the start. Game 1 of the NBA Finals was last night. The Phoenix Suns hosted the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis pulled a Willis Reed and ended up playing Game 1, but it wasn't enough as Chris Paul was a man on a mission as he leads all scorers with 32 and gave the Suns the early series lead at 1-0. Now on the traffic. On the Kennedy, O'Hare to the Loop, 35 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare, 25. Eden, inbound from Deerfield to Exchange, 36. Outbound Exchange to Deerfield, 34. Eisenhower, a little bit of traffic. Inbound from Thorndale to the Loop, 53 minutes. Back out to Thorndale, 41. Stevenson, inbound from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, 66 minutes. Outbound, 39. Bishop Ford from I-80 inbound to the Dan Ryan, 34 minutes. Outbound, 29 minutes. Dan Ryan, 17 minutes to the Loop, 16 minutes to 95th. In today's weather, it is currently 77 and partly cloudy. Today's high will be 81 with a low of 66. I'm Reese the Ruler. Now here's Maurice with Find Me.
Yeah, man. Ideas, man.
You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. So clear to see that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free.
Let's go.
Standing my ground, I can't mess around now. It's like my time is in a bottle, captured by your love, yeah. Now I know women's got this thing going on. We can't stay around so long, but I wanna come correct. Baby, get your foot off my neck. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. Understand clearly that you wanna be free.
Welcome back. Good morning, Chicago. It is the Maze Jackson Show, and I am not Maze Jackson. I am Sadiq, sitting in and guest hosting while he is on vacation, and I have Todd Stroger with me and Dr. Audrey Tanksley along with Escobar, Sonia Escobar, and she is jamming. She is back there on the boards, on the ones and the twos, and we want to thank you all for joining us on this great Wednesday morning in Chicago and wherever you're listening from, because we got people all over the United States listening to us, watching us.
World. Don't forget DJ Reese the Ruler.
Oh, Reese, where? Yeah. He's back there, DJ back there. And we've got
6. Hold on, I got something for you. SICP.
Okay, all right, thank you. Wolfpack, woo. And we are on. Yeah. We went to the same high school. Y'all made me forget my. Todd threw me off. We're on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube Live, and we appreciate everybody for tuning in with us and the audience that has stuck with us today. Because clearly, clearly we are not Maze Jackson, but people are sticking in here with us,
Right,
and
they
they are
rocking with
watching.
us.
Hooray! Thank you.
They are rocking with us.
And
you
for
know
all
what I
y'all
mean?
that dropped off, too bad. Y'all not getting this free medical advice. No.
Yeah, right. Because we're getting ready. So we were talking about CPS and the condom, the new program to dispense condoms to fifth graders.
We're off the radio now.
And then we're off the radio. So now it's just Facebook Live and YouTube Live. It's just us. We're off the Christian station. So now, Doc.
So now you can ask your question.
So now I can ask my question.
You asked
Because
on the way
I
out.
know they were like, oh my God. But yeah, we have a couple more articles, and I know Todd has to jump out in a little bit because, as May said, Todd got a job.
He got a real
So
job.
so Todd got to be out here in a minute. But my question was, and this is just, and then we're gonna end this because it may go nowhere,
Yeah.
but it may go somewhere. Should we, once we get past the simple, the ABCs, and we have responsible children who are young adults, should we, in a holistic manner, have part 2 of the conversation, which is how you really, really do this?
I love the sound effect.
Is there a responsibility? So I was citing the fact that every now and then I do a little reading. I try to educate myself. So understanding that, an orgasm for a woman, right? It helps with stress relief. It helps her live longer, right? It's all this scientific data about it. And am I being a good citizen if I have a conversation? Say, for instance, if I had a son who was 20, 21, these are all hypotheticals. Would I be doing a service to explain to him how to help a woman achieve such a momentous
That's an
happening?
Adult. It's an adult.
Yeah, as an adult.
It's not a child.
Right.
No, this is an adult. That's why I said 21-year-old. That's an adult, right?
As long as you give him a cassette with some love songs on it, you all right, man.
And a cassette player to put it in because they're not in cars anymore. I think, so we kind of talked about this. I don't know. I personally.
And by the way, at the break, I just want you to know, Dr. Tanksley made me spit out my my mint that I had. I had to take a break. So she getting ready to be real doctor right now, but it's cool.
Well, first of all, I do want to say there are health benefits to men as well. Right?
Yes.
So it's not just women who
Yes.
achieve orgasms that get benefits to their health. Men as well.
Definitely.
Prostate health is really important. Men should ejaculate in order to be able to maintain, a healthy prostate and those things. So
You want to keep that prostate, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, well, I'm gonna be all right.
So what I will say though is I think there's more to intimacy and to achieving that orgasm than just the sheer
physical
act, the physical act.
Right.
And so I think if anything, providing them with that healthy, that the conversation around healthy relationships and intimacy and communicating well and, and benefiting your partner in those ways, I think that would be a good part too.
That would be a good part 2. Okay, I'm with that because I'm just saying, should there be a part 2? And do we, have? Because I think that.
And then maybe you have that part 3, like when they're about to get married or something.
What's part 3?
Well, the part that you're talking about, where it's like, okay, and this is what you need to do in order to for climax,
Oh, okay. When they're getting married.
or buy them a book. There are books for this.
Here you go with the book. Here she goes with the book. Okay, Doc. I'm just gonna. Okay.
Books are good things, though.
Yeah. No doubt. Buy them a book. Go ahead, Todd.
No. Knowledge in books.
Which book did you buy?
So I have a fair number of.
Did you buy?
books. Yeah, I do. I did buy.
Beforehand.
When did I buy it? So just, full transparency, I have been with my husband for 22 years. And I know we're still newlyweds. I love my baby. So, and I don't know who gave him a conversation.
Hey, shout out Mr. Tanksley.
Oh, that's my maiden name.
Oh, well, shout out to
Mr. Essex.
Mr. Essex.
When I first met him, I was like, well, you got a stripper name. His name.
But shout out, bro.
But, you know, and it wasn't that we needed books, but it was just, you know, to explore different things. And, you know, and Kama Sutra is the art of lovemaking. And that's what I think is really, as you get older, like it becomes less about the, you know, just gonna stab real quick and becomes more about the intimacy.
But why can't we start at Kama Sutra? Why do we have to wait?
I thought she was going to say cat of nine tails, but okay.
We might have a swing or something.
No, but I mean, and again, these are just questions, but you're talking about even the way you said it, thanks, Sonia. The holistic part of it, right? The understanding, the communication, right? The science, because Kama Sutra is a science as well, yes. Right? So all of that, why do we have to wait? Like I'm saying, it should go in stages. I'm not saying expose the fifth graders to Kama Sutra.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, yeah. But are we having those conversations with whomever we are tutoring, adulting, mentoring, bringing along?
I definitely don't think we're having a conversation.
Okay.
I think it's actually a little weird. I mean, kind of awkward.
You mean with your children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
But the
I wanna know that
ABCs
much.
is not awkward, but Kama Sutra is awkward.
Well, the ABCs
Well, that's
are
because
the
Kama
foundation.
Sutra is like yoga, and you may pull a muscle. You got to be careful. What?
Seriously. It could be.
Todd, don't pull any muscles.
I don't have very many muscles. I was lucky. I was born very, very.
You're
light.
just.
He's a $140. Come on.
That's true.
So I don't know. I just think it's an awkward conversation. No matter what stage it's in, you have to lay the foundation unless you want your kids to be educated, ill-educated by
Right.
the streets. You know. And so that's why I think the ABCs are important. The stages beyond that. I mean, I think. In all honesty, that's what you got, like, hopefully have, like, sisters and stuff like that they can go to their auntie or their older cousin or something.
There's something to
Oh,
that.
my God. Okay.
I hate to tell you, but my wife just texted me and said, you better go to Robbins.
You better get out of here. And get
Oh,
out of
I
here.
thought she
You
was going to
gotta-
text you and say, you better get that Kama Sutra book.
Look, ask her who the author was.
I thought that's what she was at. Todd, get that Kama Sutra book now.
I think she's like, you talking too much. It's time to go.
Todd needs talk number 3. Todd needs session 3. He had
but
1
real
and 2.
talk, that traffic is a beast, though. Oh, well, I don't know what did Reese say. The traffic was.
Oh, no, I'm going south.
Yeah, he going south.
Right.
Ain't no and this is how. Hey, this is how you pump somebody up and play on their ego anyway. Todd, you Todd Stroger. you text Robbins and tell him you get there when you get there. You the former president of the Cook County Board.
It's like when the police pull you over.
You bigger than Harold Washington.
They say, you don't know nobody. Pow.
He just got the job, Sadiq.
Yeah, right. He's trying to get
You
me
keep
fired
your
already.
job. You keep your job.
Thank you. Shoot. Well,
No,
all right,
it's-
it was a pleasure, and I will be back tomorrow.
That's wonderful.
Awesome.
So Todd's gonna be in the building tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get Dr. Tanksley to call off.
I got a whole real job.
Yeah, I know. He'd be like, I'm
Man,
sick.
they'll be all right. They won't be sick.
I'm
without
sick,
you.
and she'd be on the air like, and Dr. Tanksley's back. Yeah, no doubt. So,
My poor patients gonna start chiming in like, I get a refill on.
so Todd, Sonia, how do we want to do this? Do we want to take a brief break, or Todd just walk out the door?
I can just walk
Todd
out.
just exit left.
She's playing an exit
playing
song
an
for
Oh,
you.
it's an exit song?
Oh.
Exit stage left.
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
Bye.
See you later. We appreciate you, Todd. You all can catch Todd out in the town of Robbins.
Let me see if I can play with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow, Todd.
And doctor,
Yeah.
to see you back at some point.
Okay. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Todd, don't forget that Kama Sutra book.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah, grab it after work. Grab it after work.
Grab it after work.
Yeah. No. Todd probably got like, we don't know. You remember when Eddie Murphy did the piece about we don't know everything about Michael Jackson because he's a recluse? Todd probably got all kind of Kama Sutra books at the house.
Yeah, I know I had some skills on his board.
I didn't know you had skills on the board like that, Doc.
You ain't know.
Yeah. Look.
Fix that
DJ
whole
was
view.
like, wait a minute.
I fixed that whole view, DJ. I got that.
Look,
Yeah. But now the question is, are we talking to each other? You got to wear, like, if you turn toward me, that's the.
Hey.
Oh.
You saw that? I fixed that board. Y'all
Oh,
saw that?
okay. I saw that. I saw those skills.
Learned doctors.
I see. And DJ's like, no, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me do it right. I got to
I
put
know.
my DJ voice
Fix
on.
it. It's all good though. But no, so I guess with Todd exiting, we can exit that conversation.
Absolutely. Because everybody got nervous. Everybody, teach the youngsters about it. Yeah. No, they need clear conversation.
What are your thoughts? You have a 20-year-old. Like, is that I have a 20-year-old.
This was
as well,
hypothetical,
too.
Doc.
Yeah.
But I do.
Yeah.
But no, the only reason.
I mean, that might be a man cave kind of conversation. I don't know.
It doesn't happen like that. And anytime it does happen, the guys having those conversations and from what I've been in, don't know what to do.
Yeah. I don't think anybody has the conversation 3.
Yeah. But I think maybe we need to start having conversation 3 because it's real helpful. No, real talk. Everybody's shying away from it, but I mean, aren't you happy when level 3 happens?
You know, I think there's some, like I said, I've been with my husband 22 years, right? So I think, I think there's some beauty in that journey that we've taken over these 22 years to learn each other's bodies and learn what makes, and learning, what arouses him and, and likewise for myself. I think there was some necessity to that journey to deepen our relationship.
I'm with that.
And I don't know if he was coming in doing what his daddy told him to do. I don't know if I'd have liked it.
And we're going to leave it right there. Coming in doing what your daddy told you to do.
Just saying, right?
Because his father, I don't know. I'm going to stay out of it.
But I don't want to know. I don't want to think.
How do men learn?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
How do men learn?
Like Todd said, on the streets. Like, or from your guys. Or you make it up as you go.
Or your woman teaches you.
Right, but then there's some men out there teaching. Like it's a twofold thing, right? Yeah, or your woman teaches you, right? But you have to learn to communicate, listen, right? All of these things that come with it, because it's not just the ABCs.
So that's why I'm gonna bring it all the way back to what Sonia said, and that's why the conversations that they need, that we should, if this is the new policy of the schools, the conversations that they have as they get older throughout, you can't keep giving them the same education, right? So maybe this curriculum needs to develop into the emotional and psychological aspects and things like that. Because I mean, the number of times that I've seen a gentleman in my clinic with an erection dysfunction, right, erectile dysfunction, that is not because of their physical health or their diabetes or something like that. It's because psychologically they need to, unpack some things. It's not a small number.
No, it's not a small number.
So I think we need to.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
But we don't have those conversations either.
No,
we
gotta
don't
have a primary care doctor.
These are the hidden conversations that happen. So, but at least CPS got us to open up today.
Yes.
And talk about it, and so. Don't slide into Dr. Tanksley's DM asking her for advice.
You know what I thought was interesting in that article, though, and then I promise we can move on? Culturally, there is a lot of differences as well, too, right? And so there was I think it was a Hispanic mom speaking in that article, and she said, this is not a conversation that happens in our household. And so it is important for the schools to have these conversations. I disagree a little bit, only because I think, again, we should push back, and these should be conversations we're having
should be in a household.
But if culturally that's not a thing, then how can you change the culture of that? That.
I don't know. I think I don't think we have the conversations culturally.
No, I think we think we having them.
Right. I don't think we're having.
I agree. The blind is leading the blind. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that we have the conversations culturally either. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know that I want to leave it up to the school system to be having the conversation. I need to be involved as a parent.
Maybe this is what some of the things the elected school board and stuff will talk about, the curriculum, or even your LSC, right? Don't they talk about the curriculum?
I don't know.
Oh. Is that what the LSC talks about? Besides choosing a principal and stuff like that?
I don't think they
curriculum changes.
Potentially.
Depending on your LSC.
Right. And the participation.
Depending that there are members of your LSC.
It's a whole mired type of a process there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how did it get instituted in the first place?
I don't know.
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
sure there's a strategic plan implementation already laid out.
Something to that nature. So Sonia, what about this? Should we take a break now?
I mean, if you want. I mean, the great takeaways from teens.
You want to keep going? Okay. All right.
Go ahead. What's the great takeaway from teens?
That I've heard after they've had these kind of workshops is what lasts and the things that they heard. And one of my teens, she said when she heard the facilitator say, don't just let any man touch on your body. It's sacred. And you don't chase a man unless you have a ring. Or conversations like that. And that's what they took away. And it's just one little statement. Like, you're right.
Yeah.
Don't just let all these boys touch on you.
And that's important.
It's sacred.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is CPS having that conversation?
I mean.
Okay.
They're about to start.
Are they going to have it that way?
But you have to look for resources for your teens.
Because I would want my daughter. I would want my daughter
program.
in something similar to that, where it's a holistic discussion.
Well, apparently you got to get them in Upward Bound.
Chicago State University.
Way to go, Chi State.
Chi State. Cougars.
I love it. I love it. Okay, we're gonna switch topics and switch tunes a little bit. So the moral of the story is, if you have children in CPS, take a look at the new sexual health policy. This is happening. Wanted to make you aware. And the second takeaway is, Todd is going to go buy a Kama Sutra book. And so that is what we got from all of that today.
And the tantrum chair.
And the tantrum chair? He's going to buy that too?
Make it all worthwhile.
All right. That's what's up.
So
So moving along. So for everybody, Chicago, and particular in Chicago was a top voting center for President Joe Biden. And many people, this is a very political show, right? And Mays is very vociferous about just how we participate in the political process altogether, right? And there was this whole thing, everybody was, get Trump out, get Biden in, and we have Biden-Harris, right? So for those of you that I'm sure you are aware, because of the political astute audience that we have, that Mr. Biden is coming to the Chicago suburbs, right? He's coming to, where's he going?
He is going to McHenry County.
Right.
Crystal
Lake. He's going to Crystal Lake, which is a suburb. So Mr. Biden is going to Crystal Lake, and I think he's going to talk about his Family Care Act or something to that effect, and his infrastructure bill. Right. He wants to talk that. But I have a question for us, Sonia, Dr. Tanksley, and even for the audience members. Seeing that Chicago is so heavily Democratic and that black people so overwhelmingly voted for Joe Biden. He certainly didn't get the numbers out of Crystal Lake that he got out of Chicago.
He lost Crystal Lake.
Republican.
I was getting there, but here's my point. Okay. When Joe coming to the South Side? Because everybody voted.
Didn't he send Kamala here?
But you voted for.
Well, I believe his camp said that he's the president of all Americans.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't matter what party you identify with.
Okay.
He's coming to speak to the people.
Yeah.
But when is
it about moving America forward?
I think he has to appeal to the people who did not vote for him. It's like, if I already got you on my team, like, let me go and.
So we get ignored?
Didn't Kamala come here? Is that how you say her name?
No, I'm. Joe. He gave us a.
Police coming straight from the underground. A young got it bad 'cause I'm brown. And not the other color, so police think they have the authority to kill him.
That's what we got from Joe.
Let me pull that.
I tell you what, if I had the talent of any one of these people, I'd be elected president.
Well, and he did say, I know, Miriam. He did say that if you didn't vote for him, you weren't really black. Do we have that soundbite too? Let's see if we can find that.
He should just play them a song, you know.
But no, real talk though, because we talk about. I'm just saying and I think we got people who were very pro Obama because he had to come home. Mm-hmm. It ain't like he held a rally on the South Side, but he literally had to get from Lakeshore Drive. He had to get off of Air Force One, and then he had to get to his home in Hyde Park. Mm-hmm. So it's like, the president just was coming down Lakeshore Drive. Huh? North Kenwood. What did I say? Hyde Park, North Kenwood. Excuse me. He had to get to his home. So I think there was a bit of being spoiled there, right? Now you've got this heavily Democratic, densely populated city that voted overwhelmingly for Mr. Biden, right? And I'm not saying don't go chat it up with the Crystal Lake people, like pound them up, do all that. But where's the barbecue on the South Side?
Yeah, I think we get that rap song.
A lot of people in our community are getting a little anxious because they are not seeing enough of the progress they thought they would have seen at this point. Let's not disappoint them, and let's not get to a place where voters in Georgia begin to second guess.
Okay, let me respond. I gotta go. Let me respond. There's a lot to respond to here. Let's get something straight. You shouldn't be disappointed. What I've done so far is more than anybody else has done this far. Okay? Number one. Number two, I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I'm the only person who's ever run on 3 platforms that I was told could not possibly win the election, and I never ceased from it. One was on restoring the soul of this country because of what I saw happen in Charlottesville. Mm-hmm. That was it. No one else was talking about it. The words of presidents matter. Nobody else, no progressive, was talking about it. I did.
Will you shut up, man?
Well, you know,
that's what.
Yeah. So restoring the soul of this country. Yeah, that's interesting.
He has to do it in Crystal Lake.
He does, and I think, in all honesty, I think, you know, if we look at this as why is he really going to Crystal Lake? Mm-hmm. What is he promoting that would benefit the people of Crystal Lake or would help? I mean, because if you think about the fact that they did not vote for him, overwhelmingly, they voted for Trump. There is something that he wants, you know, there's like the carrot and the hook, right? It's like, okay, there's something that I'm trying to get from you guys. And so if he's talking about infrastructure and American Families Act and all these kind of things, well, you know, that's a part of the state that doesn't have a lot of infrastructure. And so maybe he wants to go and kind of promote to them these things
American
that are coming.
Families Plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speak to the small businesses.
Which are probably much more in.
Can I get a bank?
Number. Hello.
Wendy's right here?
You know,
So-
he could come talk to us because real
So
talk, I'm
really-
opening a health center and I could use a couple dollars. to
I mean,
open this
I'm
in
just
Woodlawn.
saying, you have one of the largest populations who overwhelmingly supported you.
But
And
he
you're
already
going to
told
Crystal
you,
Lake.
He did what he mean what he say.
What did he Sonia, what did he do?
And I do, you know, I'm the only one who ran on this platform and won. There's no substance behind what he's saying, but
Oh, there's no substance.
but
So I got a question.
We're often not. I mean, substance isn't necessarily what moves us to at the polls.
Okay. Substance doesn't move at the polls. So I got a question then. Should black people who supported Joe Biden pack up and join him in Crystal Lake? Should we get a black caravan?
You been in Crystal Lake?
I've been through Crystal Lake. I've been through Crystal Lake. But no, that's a real question.
Yeah.
Right? Crystal Lake is what? 60 minutes away?
Yeah, just about.
Something like that, 45, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should we get a caravan, right? Because we're always talking about, right, you know, putting pressure on people, blah, blah, blah. But should people go out there and engage the president in Crystal Lake since he is an hour away or going to be an hour away. I mean, you voted for the man.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe voted for him. I think I voted for myself.
Kanye.
Okay. Well, I'm with that. Dr. Tanksley for office. I'm for that. Let me know. Let me know when it pops off.
You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with going out there.
Should it be an organized effort? Like literally, should it be an organized effort?
A day late and $1 short, like he on his way, ain't he?
I mean, you can still get out there.
But he's sliding, honestly, he's sliding everybody though, right? Because he's not coming to talk to, I think the mayor and the governor are meeting.
No,
him at
the governor
airport.
is going out there, right?
Like
the
meeting
mayor's
him at
going
the
out there.
airport to
No,
talk
they're
to
going to
O'Hare.
Crystal Lake. They're going to talk to him. Whatever. They got, their little thing set up because the governor is touting the fact that he's pushing for the infrastructure plan so he can match the tax dollars with Illinois. So that's,
Because we already passed one.
Right, exactly. So he's looking for more so we can keep, white companies working. And
look, when they come to the Hispanic community, all they talk about is economic investment. Small businesses, economics.
And it's happening, right?
And
like
if you notice that pattern, that's specifically what they're going to talk about right there. Business. So how come when you come to Chicago, it's all social services?
But that's my point.
Really?
But do we need to drive to Crystal Lake?
Yep.
That's where I'm getting at. Like he's coming to Crystal Lake. I mean, to just even have because people are going to be allowed to ask questions. People are going to be allowed to have access. He's going to stop at the ice cream shop. But if we just let it be Crystal Lake, right? And it's but so even if there was a caravan of 40 black people, not the politicians, not the state senators, not the mayor, the governor, the people who actually voted for the man. Because did your participation stop at the voting booth?
Joe Biden to me is kind of like a cantankerous old man. Like even in his comment that he made, like he sounded like he was getting frustrated and
he was frustrated.
Right? So I don't know if 40 people going out there would really be welcome.
But so it's not welcome.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's not part of the agenda, so he might not be ready for that,
That's fine. I mean, but when do we start, like, pushing buttons when do we, you know what I'm saying?
For him.
But it's too late.
Exactly, before you vote for him. Yeah.
But that's
point,
over
it's
with.
Like, I told y'all, I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. It's like, but you ain't say nothing. So wait a minute. What you going to do?
So it sounds like the same trap to me. Like,
it
the same cyclical trap, right?
It's one big
get whatever you're gonna get before. We never get that before, right? It's all symbolism, and then you get skipped around in the entire process, right? Even in the coming to, and that's why I just thought it was particularly interesting that he was coming to Crystal Lake, right? Given the voting record of Crystal Lake, the composition of Crystal Lake, and then the composition of Chicago. Even if you don't come to the south side or the west side, right? Or the near south side. But whatever that is, I just find it very interesting. And I think that, there was this comfortability we had because Obama had to come through the south side. He lived on the south side, right? But Joe Biden doesn't live on the south side, right? And it's like, okay, well, I'll come to Chicago, maybe not come to Chicago. No. But clearly, his constituency is in the county of Cook, in the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a lot of people who, listen to this show, other shows do that. Like, we're definitely excited about Biden-Harris.
And he'll be at McHenry County College.
Yeah.
If
talking
you guys
about
were wondering. You wanted to stop by?
McHenry County College, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And they're excited to have him. I mean, why couldn't he come to Chicago State? Like real talk. You're at McHenry
Did
County
Obama
College.
even go to Chicago State? I think he didn't make it past University of Chicago. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't know either. I don't. Obama. No, I don't think Obama went to Chicago State.
So neither is Joey. Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe's not going to Chicago State.
Nah.
Like at this point, are we?
Does Pritzker go to Chicago State? I'm just wondering.
He's been.
Goes? Okay. Good deal.
Been, but he's got interest there, right? Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, he's got interest there. But
there's a lot of what they should do that in our opinions, that doesn't necessarily happen. I think strategically they looked at the county and was like, okay, all these people are the state, and we're like, all these people are already on our team. And I don't know why he didn't go to Southern Illinois, because I'm sure Southern Illinois voted overwhelmingly for Trump as well too. But he, strategically said, in the sea of all of this blue, there's this red, and I'm gonna go here and talk to these people and show them what my plan has and all of this. I think also it had a lot to do with the fact, so I work everywhere, but I actually work out in McHenry County too, or will be very soon, right? And one of the things that is, telehealth was a huge thing when COVID hit and all of that, and a lot of them don't even have the ability, broadband, or those things to really tap into that. And so if you're looking at, they're right here, right up in the northern part of the state, to be so rural in the midst of so much urban, maybe he was like, this is like a unicorn. Let me go here.
Because he saw the unicorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
And they have, what's her name? Representative Underwood. She barely passed, barely won, and so maybe it's there to kind of help her along the way too, because you don't want to lose those seats.
That's right. So because there's the political organizations that are behind it too, right?
Yeah.
Countywide and statewide.
Plus,
and so it's got
after all this violence,
why would you come to Chicago?
The leadership in the city. Yeah.
He probably got a bulletproof vest though.
I don't think he needs it, but I'm sure he does.
People around
he got
him.
bulletproof people, right? His vest is not bulletproof. It's the guy next to him.
No comment.
Right.
The FBI's listening.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
okay,
but we're just talking about the president.
Talking about the violence.
Get pulled out the air.
I got my show pulled. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So the governor's going up there, and the reason it strike right. We talk about this political cycle, right?
I wonder what the
Sonia
mayor's
said.
wearing.
Let's not harp on the mayor catches it.
I hate her
all
suits,
the time.
but
You
that's
hate her
okay.
suits?
I do.
She did a better before elected, right? I think
Taylor,
maybe
bro.
I think she needed to come up maybe 2-3 inches on the sleeve, get that tailored and brought back. I think she did that.
And on the leg.
On the leg. So, I mean, she's a lawyer by trade. They don't do fashion classes in law school.
I know plenty of lawyers
that dress nice. I do too.
Got it together.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Okay. All right. So
sorry.
Moving forward from that, but I'm sure we'll see what the mayor wears when she goes to see the president. Right. So, but I was thinking about Sonia's comment, right? Engage in the process, right? Get what you're going to get in the negotiation before elected. And I'm just wondering if our political senses as a group are off, only because we said that in the election with the mayor. And then we got Lori, and it doesn't appear that negotiation worked out well. We said that prior to the election of Joe Biden, right? I'm going local, going national. We say that before okay, yeah, you got it. This is when you express your political capital, the vote, the blah, blah, blah.
We've seen this play before.
I got it. So when does the merry-go-round stop?
But see, we're not unified in that conversation, because you'll have people who will go. Right. And so I think May says it before you take the selfie, right? You have the people who'll take the selfie. And so as long as that thought prevails, then you'll never get anything before, because they're always just well, I know, okay, I might not get them, but I got this get along gang and they going. So I can just rely on them. And often people are not politically engaged enough to really see a difference. I ran for public office before, right?
Yes, I'm well aware, Doc. I'm well aware.
And I kid you not, the number of times that people would be like, well, I don't know you. And I was like, do you know the current commissioner who literally, do you know her? Have you seen her? What has she done for you lately? And so, but it's this fear of something different. And so I don't think that we have the astuteness to ask those questions, or even to expect that somebody should give us an answer to that.
Okay. So I'm with you on that. But I do want to split one hair on that. Okay. So, but nationally, let me just say this. Awareness was raised because everybody wanted Trump out of office.
Yeah, and Cube was asking, what's up with
there were people like, asking questions. There was a whole bunch of engagement. Social media, regular media, if you wanted.
But we weren't unified.
Okay, but there was an awareness, and obviously, but we were unified. If you pull out those vote totals for Joe Biden, it wasn't like it was a split when it came to black people.
Right.
It was overwhelmingly Joe Biden, Kamala Harris.
But that's the get along gang.
Are we overwhelmingly the get along gang?
We, as in like me.
Not you. I mean, obviously.
As a people?
Yeah,
we are.
Okay, that's where I want to get. So we are overwhelmingly the get along gang.
Yep.
So the cycle's just going to continue.
Yeah.
That's kind of defeatist though, isn't it? It's like where's the hope?
I don't want it to be that way. Like right? I buck the system all the time, and I think a lot of us do, and probably majority of the listeners and the watchers of this show are the kind of people who buck the system because we know that there's something different that is better for us, but. I'm sure you've had conversations talking to the mass
all the time.
Right. Yeah. Talking to the masses of people, it's really, people are very disengaged from this process. And so either they're disengaged if they're older, or if they're younger, they never were even really taught the process. And so they don't even understand how it goes. It's just like, I vote this way because this is the way my grandmother voted, and they don't know what it means to really vet a candidate. Definitely not to ask for something up front. I think, again, that's our unfortunate mentality that we don't even deserve it. It's like we give grace to everybody else and we give none to ourselves. It's like we just, we get what we get and it is what it is.
We get what we get and it is what it is.
I mean, that's the unfortunate way people think.
That
like
sounds,
real people.
You think people really?
I'm not a real person. I said that like
I'm
not a real person.
You're a real person, but you think on as a whole, people are like, we get what we get, and that's it?
Majority, and I think that's why you see the despair in the community. That's why, even going way back to earlier part of the show, why you feel okay dropping this trash in your neighborhood. Like, because it's like, it's us. It's so... I hate to sound defeatist. Don't make me sound this way.
No. But I think we need to have the discussion because it's literally... We have the same discussion election cycle after election cycle after election cycle, right? Because we're getting ready to go into local election cycles, right? Like there's always a cycle.
An election cycle.
There's always an election cycle, right? So you've got the mayor's going to start running for re-election soon, right? Mm-hmm. Potentially, maybe
she's going to start campaigning.
She's going to start, right? If she's going to run again.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm just saying that, and then you've got rep races that'll be coming up, right? You got all of this stuff that's happening. Even in the comments, someone just put in that we should concentrate on local races for a cycle or two, right? Like get our stuff together, like kind of get together there. But I'm just saying that we have, I would think, more awareness now. I think there are more people listening to WIIFTBP Media, listening to Maze. I think there's more consciousness out there. You've got podcasts. You've got, I even saw something on, you've got like the Breakfast Club. They talk about politics. Like you got people listening to different, getting more than they used to.
I want to say commentary. Here, it's actual strategies.
Okay.
And real issues.
I would definitely say that.
I wouldn't compare us.
No, okay. So we got the strategies.
They got commented. No.
But
right.
But inside of that, and I'm just speaking to the overall
got real
awareness.
Strategy over here.
I'm speaking to the overall awareness of what's happening, and maybe we're just in the process. Maybe we're at a point in the process.
I think there is a lot, and I'm not saying this to be, to say it's in a negative way, but I think there's a lot of noise. That's what I think it is. It's a lot of people talking, very few with actionable items, and that's what we need at this point, right? Like if I'm going to say, if I'm going to ask the question, what are you going to deliver to my community afterwards? That requires action, right? Like you said, that get on a caravan, ride out there, go do this. And that's not what I see generally. I see a lot of people talk, and then you be like, all right, meet up. We going to be here this day, this time. And it's like you and a couple of the other organizers at the spot, right? And so I think people really want the change, but they don't know. It's trendy to be like, be the change you want to see, but people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to be the change because it's takes work, and it's not glamorous, and we are very, I told you I say a lot of stuff that's not.
Go ahead, just say it.
We are very selfish, like I want to be seen kind of people.
Okay. All right.
I hate to say that. I hate to say that, y'all. I love black people, but we are. And because of that, it doesn't move us anywhere.
Okay. Well, sometimes you got to have tough love. It just can't be, sometimes you got to have tough love. So then my question is, are the expectations for Biden-Harris over? Are we riding out 4 years?
I think we knew we was riding out 4
years
when we got them, when they got in office, and it was all put on your Chucks and Pearls, which I halfway participated in.
What'd you do? Throw your Chucks on?
Not at all. I put my Jordans on with my pearls.
So you had Jordans and pearls.
That's right. Okay. I'm from the South Side.
All right, I got it. You threw your Jordans on.
And yes, Alvin, I got on a Dr. Seuss shirt that say "Trust me, I'm a doctor." It's from Orlando.
I got it. Are we trusting Dr. Seuss or you?
Both.
Okay.
We both got lyrics.
Okay. I don't know if I trust Dr. Seuss. Dr. Tanksley, I probably would trust a little more than Dr. Seuss. So Sonia, we riding it out? We riding it out for 4 years? No?
Before I voted, I said, what are we going to get?
Okay. So what we getting?
In Chicago?
A cantankerous old man who chastises us when we ask questions.
That's what we riding out 4 years. It's a wrap for that. Damn.
I mean, I think rather than look at it that way, you can always look at it from, so what's next, right? Who are we putting up? Who are we backing? And what are we going to get from them before? And make it more strategic than, oh, well.
So I got a question. So let's go local with it. Okay. Real quick. We got 2 minutes, right? We got 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Who would make Chicago better? Because, again, here we go. Who would make Chicago
better?
Because we're always, and I get it, right? Then we talk about the noise. You said here, we talk about, but real talk, right? Real talk. And it doesn't have to be anybody flashy. It doesn't have to be an activist. Who would make Chicago better?
I'm going to show my bias. And I say this all the time, and I don't care what anybody thinks.
Yourself?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
But no, real talk, somebody from Chicago.
Okay.
I am super biased about that. I don't care. We are so unique. We are different than most other Black people in this country. And I just don't think you can come from outside and really understand, what it is to be Chicago. And that's not necessarily even just being Black. That's just being from Chicago. Like, even our white people get us different. They get it differently.
Yeah. Well, because they different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, we got to vote for Maze and Audrey.
Hey, that's my sister.
Oh, that's your sister?
Hey, sissy.
Hey, what's happening, sis? So for sure, you got the deck stack. We already got Audrey running for mayor.
They don't pay enough.
They don't pay enough. But
I got a job, a real one.
That's crazy. Oh, okay. So we got some people really out there. Would be great for Chicago.
No, honestly, I do. I agree with a lot of. I mean, I think basically what you're seeing there is it doesn't have to be those specific people. Even though I do believe that Felicia Simmons Stovall should also
shout out. Shout out to Felicia.
Yes,
Great job. And
she
she's
should
been
be a
in the
judge.
comments this morning. Yeah, absolutely. We got to take care of her too.
But I think if you look at the names that Devin did put up there, right? I won't include myself in this, but everybody else, I think and I will include myself in this. It speaks to more of characteristics, right? Everybody that he named up there is someone from Chicago, somebody who is connected to the community in some way and actively fighting for it without the glory.
Love it.
And that's what we need.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Willie Wilson is not from Chicago.
Oh, well, I didn't know if I didn't see Willie Wilson up
Yeah,
there.
I didn't see his name
Willie
up there either.
Preston.
Right.
Willie Preston.
Okay.
I don't know where Willie Wilson is from, but I also don't know how.
Let's be proactive.
He's done enough.
Yeah, he's done a lot.
And he does a lot. But let's be proactive.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about this.
So
with
here's
the
how to be
media.
proactive.
Yeah, come on, Doc, talk to us.
Join the WIIFTBP pack.
Look at all these names. I only know these names because, well, not just WIIFTBP, but you know.
But I mean, like Ready Rock, she's big in NAACP, right? She's
Oh,
out here in
absolutely.
these
She's in the streets, right?
You know, Tucson, like they're out here in the streets doing the work, and whether it be glory or glamour or and post me everywhere, like none
Tucson,
of that
you running for mayor, bro?
None of that matters to those people that they actually named up there. Those are all people who are doing the work for the people because they genuinely care, and that's what I think. That's the only change that we need in our leadership is we need people who genuinely care. Right. Like I don't really, I try not to bash people because like I told you, I don't wear a black robe, so I don't judge. I just don't judge. I mean, I take people for what they are and who they show me that they are. But once you do that, then I think, especially in certain positions, there's a level of accountability that has to be had. And if you are not genuinely for the people, then I think that you don't belong in that space.
I got it. I agree with that. I'm running North for freedom.
Chicago can do more. I'm with Ruthie Moore for mayor too.
Yeah, I'm definitely with a Ruthie Moore for mayor type of feel. I think Ruthie is awesome, and there are a lot of awesome
people,
young, exciting, genuine. Chicagoans out there.
And Ruthie's not from Chicago, right? She's south of Kankakee.
That's Chicago.
Triple K's.
That's Chicago.
She's closer than most.
She's closer than most. Yeah. I mean, the north side of Kankakee is the south side of Chicago.
Right.
Like real talk.
Yeah, real
right.
talk.
I mean, real talk.
But my point is again, it's about the characteristics of genuinely being for people. And I think those kind of people can surround themselves with the analysts and the people who know how to do X, Y, and Z, because those people are genuinely smart enough to know who can go there. But you got to have a core of realness. It's just been a lot of fake people in office for a long while.
So listen, let's start pushing out the genuine people.
Pipeline.
Let's pick something.
Okay.
Some local, some semi-local, maybe in that. Let's pick something and really make a difference, because what we do is, or what has happened is, we get all engaged, all whatever, and then we are extremely disappointed for whatever that tenure is.
So let me throw a little plug out here then for that, because when we say engaged, I think engagement is, there's levels to this, right?
Absolutely.
So some people are engaged where they'll sign your petition. They're engaged. They'll, promote something on social media. Let's engage with our dollars, because we know that's what wins elections, right? Like, these people need money to run. And I don't see us do that to a large degree where we back people financially to be successful in these spaces. Right. And so I think if we're going to truly be engaged and I agree with you, we need to pull a few candidates from each race and be like, this is our candidate that's running. We got them. We're going to vote.
And let's ride.
But we're going to also support them. So when they need to put up some billboard, or they need to do one of these things that we know is what, runs kind of the political processes, in this state, we got to do it. We really do. And I'm with y'all. 34. That's my neighborhood.
That's your neighborhood. Well, let's do it. Let's start in 34.
I'm game with starting in 34.
So,
34, I'm going to tell y'all, I think 34 is one of the ones they coming for, Like when you start looking at all the places and all the gentrification and stuff like that, like it's so many abandoned board ups and then you start to see transitions and, it's interesting to watch this city plan and going. But I will say, about 3 or 4 years ago, I read an article. I know we got to get out of here. And it said that the median income in Chicago would be $150,000, right? So for the median income to be $150,000, that means it's got to be a whole lot of really rich people here. And when black people on average in the state of Illinois make $30,000 a year, then you looking at who are these people that's gonna move the median, the middle income up
they
to
move, they way up there.
$150,000, right? So I think you have to look at our communities and see that happening, and that doesn't happen when you genuinely are from here and can recognize what's happening, right beneath your nose.
Right. So we got to keep the eyes open, guys. We got to get out of here today. I want to thank both Todd Stroger and Dr. Tanksley. She has been dropping it down for us. Doc, it was a pleasure.
This was fun.
I'm glad you came. It was so much fun. Yeah. It really was. And I'm going to try to get you to call off work tomorrow.
Okay, look, I said, so this is how we going to get, I told Sadiq y'all on the break, I said, so we going to get everybody to tag 2 friends and to bring the numbers up so we can show Maze. And the way we going to do it is because we're going to give out free medical advice. We're going to open the phone.
Right. We're going to give out free medical advice. We got all that stuff. Listen, it has been a pleasure being with you today. The time went by so fast. We really enjoy you. Thank you so much to the WIIFTBP audience. The box is not in with us, but we'll get back with them tomorrow. So for Maze Jackson, because it's his show, for Todd Stroger, Ruthie, who is flying around America, we don't know where she is. It's Sadiq sitting in with Dr. Tanksley, and we've got Sonia Escobar and DJ Reese the Ruler on the boards in the 1 and 2s. We love you all. We'll see you tomorrow. And if you don't like it, we'll leave it right there.
I see you, Team May.
Peace.
Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people, 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 for the black people. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. For the black people. 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 For the